Oh, well, fuck. You need to save me from myself. But it'll be easy because I can work in a structured environment well with some help. So,
Yeah.
Draco, you're sharing another link. Let's hang up here and get into the right link, okay?
All right.
Hey, we are on the right link.
We are?
Yep.
Oh, do we not?
Yeah, we are live right now. And here is the
Okay.
link.
Hey, everybody. Gwen is back. Oh my gosh. Gwen, we are so happy to see you.
We also have
Apologies.
Sarah.
I
Hey,
was sick with the flu. Apologies, everyone.
hey,
No apologies necessary. Have you met Rebecca?
I think
I've
last
seen
week,
you
maybe.
before, Gwen. I've seen you before, but we've not
Last
talked.
week, I
Hi.
remember. You were the first one to talk.
Yes. Hi.
Uh,
Good to see
Okay,
you.
hey, hey, Sarah Bear. Hey, Greg. Okay,
Greg,
let me find
I'm
the
so
Zoom
glad
link.
you're here.
Hi
Greg, I'm
guys,
really
I'm a
glad
little
you're
stuffy
here.
today.
Sorry.
It's okay, I just letting you know I'm a little stuffy today, so I'm gonna stay a little quiet.
you look cool.
Okay, no worries at all. Where am I going? Where do I go get the Substack link? Ah, there it is.
We already
Look
have
at
20
that.
people who joined in Substack.
That's awesome. Okay,
Welcome.
so
We're
if
so
you can,
glad you're here.
well, yeah,
Hi
we're
everyone,
we're
I'm
just
Greg.
getting. Hey, Greg. Hey,
Uh,
Greg, guess what we're gonna do today?
Hey, what, Joe?
We're gonna play a
We're gonna kick
song.
we're gonna kick him out of office.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna do that too, damn it. But what we're gonna do, so for everybody who's here right now, hey Vicky, um, we're gonna do our opening a little bit differently, so it's just not me or someone else talking. Um, so we're gonna alter it. We're gonna have three things for you that, to my understanding, we're gonna have a song. We're gonna have my hilarious, or I think it's hilarious, and it actually has a song in it. Um, where I'm trying to prank George Clooney into selling his nuts to save democracy and lead the women's nation. Okay. And so you'll get to see that video. And then you're going to get to see a video from Rebecca, or they may be in a different order. So if Draco is ready, um,
I'm actually interested in
Draco, you
Rebecca's
can.
video first.
Which one?
Sorry, not Sarah. Rebecca's video first. I mean, that's my preference, but
I I'd like to do Rebecca's video when we have more people here.
okay. I mean, I think Rebecca has
I
two
I
videos.
want
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
has
but I only
what?
want to show one. I only want to do the first one, and we'll save the AI one for next.
All right. Hey, so Draco,
Okay. So did
do we have the videos
Hey
ready?
Janice, how are you? Welcome. We are IOD Nations, International Online Democratic Nations. Um, and we are here to promote online citizen-led democracy and action. We're different from every live chat that you come into because we have tactics and strategies to make things happen. And um, we're going to have some different things in the show. You guys are going to really get introduced to Rebecca. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to start off with a song that I made. Okay. And I love it. I hope you'll enjoy it. And then we're going to show a couple of really short, fun. One's fun, and one's a super serious video from Rebecca as people are coming in, and then we'll lead into the show. So Draco, whenever you're ready, you can do your thing, man.
All right, let's welcome Jill or Mel. Uh, United Kingdom. Hey, welcome back.
Hey, hey,
All right.
Hey, Jill.
hey. Oh,
How are
uh,
you doing today? Jill, you are on mute. You need to unmute yourself.
hiya. Sorry, is that better?
Yeah. So
Yes.
how are you doing
Yes,
today?
yeah. Hiya. How are you guys?
We're doing okay. What about
We're
you?
doing really good.
Great. It's so stuff is moving. It's brilliant.
It really is.
Yeah, and you inspired me, Jill. We're gonna eventually get Draco. We're gonna do some higher quality, better versions of the Matrix video that I think you'll really enjoy.
Oh, I'm still blown away by the other video.
Which other video?
So
Wait,
we
which
did
other
a
video?
in the last show we did a video about the Matrix. You haven't seen that. Depending on how many people get here, we may ask Draco to play that, but I think he's Hey Draco, how are you doing on stuff?
I'm doing okay, but
Are
I'm
you ready
looking
to go?
for um our music, but here I only have 9 music audio file.
Hey,
Right now, please play my video right now. Don't worry about it.
Yep,
All right.
go for it.
You guys, we're going to get this tighter. I know it's kind of a drag sitting here waiting for the video to load. This is something that we're working out, and we promise it'll get tighter as we go.
yeah.
Also, remember, this is a truly international work group dealing with multiple time zones.
Oh my God. What time is it for you, Gwen?
It's 4 o'clock. I got up an hour and a half ago. It's 4 a.m.
Well, thank you for being here. We're glad to have you.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Hey, democracy is never on our terms, is it?
No. Hey, have you guys been watching Al Jazeera at all? People are protesting all over the world.
Definitely.
This is the
Yeah.
only fucking country where we're still sitting at home. So let's take advantage of sitting at home and make it do something.
Facts.
Yeah, I think you have in our chat here when we get it going, you've got a really creative and unique way of communicating that I think is going to connect with some people. So this is going to be cool. This is going to be fun.
Could use the video. I'm a 55-year-old retired disabled nurse. Okay. I'm a mom of 2 girls. So I have my issues, right? But more important than that right now, I'm an American citizen. I'm a multi-generation Air Force brat. Every single man in my family has fought for this country since the Civil War. And when we lived overseas when I was a kid, we were told that when we went out of our house, we represented our country. And that meant something to us. Like we were always aware of that everywhere we went. And I don't believe that half of you stood next to me all those years pledging allegiance to the flag. I don't believe that half of you were lying. I don't care who you voted for. This is not about politics anymore. This is about saving our country and our democracy and maybe even the entire fucking planet. I am also a rape survivor. I was gang raped the night of my 18th birthday. I was molested by my mother's boyfriends, and I was date raped. And when I was in college, I've been in abusive relationships. I get the Epstein survivors. And we are going to join together to take those motherfuckers out. So this is what we're going to do. I found a group called IOD Nation. It stands for International Online Democratic Nations. It's a mouthful. But this is what they're helping me to do. We're going to write an email to send to the managers and executives at Victoria's Secret. I am going to provide a message that we're going to send, the email addresses that we're going to send it to. I'm going to send this information and this video to every single person in my contact list. That's 25 years of people that I've met. I've been sober a long time. That's a lot of people. And I'm going to send it to everyone. And tomorrow, we are going to flood these motherfuckers and pound them into submission. We are going to demand that if they have ever respected the women and girls that they've been selling to almost my whole life, that now is the time for them to stand forward. Now is the time for them to step out and call for the immediate release of the Trump Epstein files. So this is my ask. Please do what I'm doing and send this video and these instructions to everyone you know. Because of everyone that I know, and everyone that you know, and everyone that they know, all send them emails tomorrow. That is thousands of emails. And we could reach the entire country. So please come do this with me right now.
Bravo. That was unreal. And I can relate, my darling. So my heart to yours. And absolutely, I will be on my computer doing whatever the hell I can.
Hell
Same here.
yes.
I don't think you could hear the clapping at the end of that or the fist bumps in the air. It's a shame that you don't get all that noise, but believe me, it was right with you.
Oh, thank you. Man, you guys are going to make me cry.
No, it bang on, absolutely
It's,
bang on.
yeah, it's such a beautiful
So
thing though. And you know what's been happening is that I have been chatting with all the women in here have been chatting. We don't have you, Gwen. Don't have your number, so we have to get that. But we have been chatting off to the side. And you know what our conversations are like? We're sending each other, can you believe that this happened? Oh my God, I can't believe that this happened. Hang on, you guys, I can't talk because my kid just got suspended from school. Oh my God, I'm so glad I have you guys. I feel like I'm going crazy. I love you. You're awesome. We can do this. And we are healing each other. It has been the most amazing experience. And in talking to Joel and figuring out how we want to do this and how we can work together, we've been having a really healing experience as humans and as a man and a woman in this really charged environment, right? And my history as with violence against women, sexual violence, it's been a really beautiful experience. And I'm excited to share that with you guys. I feel like that's happening in the chat a little bit, you know? And I think if we lead with love instead of the hate that these motherfuckers live in, if we lead with love every time we talk to each other and our friends, we can make it happen. I
I
really
totally
believe that.
agree. Fellow disabled person here as well, but I believe, and I said it the other day, that power is right in our hand. And
Exactly.
actually, the guys did an article on that, which I wanted to say thank you to for the way that they put that across for me. But I totally agree with you, and I think the biggest gift you can give anybody who's been oppressed or abused or so on is empowerment. That's the biggest gift you can give them back in their hands, and we can do that.
We've been doing that for each other,
so
and it's been really amazing.
so let's we're gonna do what we had talked about. We're gonna try and maybe lighten up and
Yes.
give a little bit of character to the opening of the show, and then we're going to come back in and we're going to start the meat of the show with Rebecca and I. So, hey, Draco, do you have any song you can play?
Yes, I have a lot of songs to play. Let me play my
Which
favorite one.
do you have?
Do you
Play
have
your
the
favorite one. Give
bluegrass
us what you
banjo?
got.
Okay.
I would love
So
to hear
what's
the bluegrass banjo.
if you've never worked with AI music, what it can make, you can create a song and then you can make the same song in all these different genres, and it's so freaking cool.
Wow.
All right, Draco, you let me know when you're ready. So what we're going to do in today's show when we get into the body of it is Rebecca and I have had some really long, deep, thoughtful conversations about this stuff. And actually, Greg, the trajectory, he and I had a really great conversation yesterday. And so Rebecca and I, the kind of the process we went through, we're going to have parts of that conversation with you, between the two of us, on the screen with you, to share it from the two different points of view. And we hope that that will it'll provide some more context and bridge some gaps.
What the fuck is it gonna take? The clock ticking, democracy slipping, snakes in the kitchen, freedom in a chokehold, yo, who's gripping? Socrates whispers truth bombs, no fiction. Big hands Newsom, palms on the gavel, world unravel, systems fragile, typing revolution, scroll and battle, scrolling but silent, nah, we can't straddle. Make democracy offensive, what's the price? Power to the people, not the roll of dice. Unite online, ignite the fight, blow the shit up, bring the wrong to light. Algorithm scheming, got your mind in a cell, scrolling through the circus while the earth yell. Policy for sale, dreams they compel, but the masses sleepwalking, trapped in the spell. What's it gonna take? A quake in the brain, floods in the veins, break out the chains.
Oh no, what happened?
But we can reframe, riot in the comments, spark that flame. Truth in your pocket, lies on the screen, click revolution, troll alt dream. Socrates asked, now we intervene. Justice ain't passive, gotta get mean. Big hands Newsom, palms on the gavel, world unravel, systems fragile, typing revolution, scrolling battle, scrolling but silent, nah, we can't straddle. Make democracy offensive, what's the price? Power to the people, not the roll of dice. Unite online, ignite the fight, blow the shit up, bring the wrong to light. Algorithm scheming, got your mind.
Comments.
Scrolling through the circus while the earth yell. Policy for sale, dreams they compel, but the masses sleepwalking, trapped in the spell. What's it gonna take? A quake in the brain, floods in the veins, break out the chains. History's a loop, but we can reframe. Riot in the comments, spark that flame. Truth in your pocket, lies on the screen, click revolution, control alt dream. Socrates asked, now we intervene. Justice ain't passive, gotta get mean.
Let's welcome Karma. She just joined the Zoom chat.
Hey, Rockstar.
Okay.
I don't think she wants to talk.
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to welcome Karma and all the other people who joined. We have over 50 people who joined us on Substack. Lynn is there. Hey, Lynn, thank you so much. We would love to have you on the call. So if you can, I sent you the link on.
She said she didn't want to come in.
Oh, okay, it's okay. So yeah, let's move
So let me
forward.
ask this. Do you want to play the video, or do you want to move into Rebecca and I?
I think we should move to
Rebecca?
Yeah.
We can move into
Can
the
I just say,
conversation.
sorry,
Yeah,
I just
go
wanted
ahead.
to say, before I was listening to songs before, and that I almost lost it when I heard this AI song, because the last one I listened to was "Dear Allies, Don't Give Up on Us," and that was a powerful song.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you send that to us?
I can. I've got it. It's on a YouTube channel. I can send that wherever. So
Yeah,
yeah.
just drop a link in the chat in
I will.
Substack. Thank you.
Hey, Ice Shire, you should. So we did a whole thing about, we tried to create a dance contest, and I did a bunch of songs with some AI dancing and stuff that is really, really fucking funny and cool and all of that. So check out our YouTube stuff. Hopefully the guys will, yeah, we'll get you some links in here. The guys will share some links, and there's some really fun, funny, cool stuff. We have AOC and Bernie Sanders dancing to some of these songs, and it's when you see, if you like Bernie Sanders, when you see him dance, you are going to get the biggest smile on your face. It's so cool. So anyway, are we going to roll? Are we rolling into Rebecca and I? Is that where we're going, Rebecca? Or are we doing
Yes,
the
please.
George Clooney
Yes,
video?
please do. No, let's go.
Okay, so you got the agenda, girl. Take it.
Okay, well, we wanted to start by having Joel explain how IOD Nations works, what his concept is. So why don't you start with that, Joel? And then at first when he was talking, I had to hear him a couple times. I didn't really understand what he was talking about, right? It wasn't clicking. But then he said something that made it, I got it. And so I want to sort of talk about what that experience was for me, in case that helps it resonate better with you if you're not really sure what the fuck he's talking about. So Joel, why don't you go ahead and explain your concept, and then you can turn it over to me.
Okay, so for those of you who are new here, I've been working on this for about 10 years, and the idea is that I wrote a book called The Recipe, and it's called The Recipe. If you could tap your screen 3 times to save democracy in Ukraine, would you do it? And it basically just breaks everything down to its most simple component, which is democracy is the number of people and how well they collaborate. And that's all it is. And I was trying to explain or come up with words to explain what it would mean to unite online. And I thought of Amazon, and I thought of Facebook, almost as if Facebook's a nation. Like they have their own economy, they have their own society, they have their own, a quasi-authoritarian leader and all this. And there's all these entities and all of this stuff that's out in the internet that are these powers or whatever. And the way I came up to describe it was, I said, if a business no longer requires brick and mortar, then a nation no longer requires land and borders. And by that, I mean, Amazon essentially is not a viable business without their online model. So yes, they need those locations, but their primary business is their online entity and their online marketplace. And that's what makes them powerful. And that's what makes Facebook powerful. And so I think that, and so part of coming here is, and a lot of the people in here are women who decided they wanted to join us and unite online democratically. And the way I always envisioned that was as a nation, because if you look at, all the time from when we were tribes up to now, the most powerful and influential form of human collaboration is a nation. We have our militaries, we have our natural resources, we have our cultures, we have our religions, we have, all the things that make us a nation. But we have been born and we're placed at this insane time in history where we can unite online and create a women's nation and an art nation and a BIPOC nation and an LGBTQ nation and an education nation. And we can do it all with a mouse. We can just tap our screen to go there. And when she got that, and when Rebecca and I were talking, she kind of explained how that clicked to her. And I had that with
Right.
Greg, where it clicked with him. So tell us, Rebecca, how did that work for you?
Thank you. He was talking about how I and we have been focused on what we can do in our physical world, right? In which we live, that space that my body inhabits, right? I put my body in the street for a protest. I marched my body around the Capitol in a protest. I've been standing on corners with signs. I've been picking up the phone and making calls. I've been going to in-service community outreach lessons. I've been doing it all. I've been taking my body to all these places. But here's the thing, I have this computer in my hand and I don't have to take my body anywhere. And I'm also disabled. And there are days that I can't get out of bed, right? I just can't. But it doesn't matter because I can still be a powerful force just in my phone. And all I have to do is get enough of us together to write the same email. We release it at the same time in coordinated waves, right? And we pound them. But the first part is we have to bring the people in. We have to bring the people in. And the way Joel sort of explained it to me, and it made sense, and not just on a sort of theoretical, conceptual level, but on a spiritual level. Karma, stay safe. And what it was is I imagine here's the earth, right? And we are the people of the earth. And we are here to take care of our planet and to take care of each other and to raise our children, right? And out here are all these motherfucking oligarchs, right? With their digital platforms. And they are vampires. They're making their money off of us. And in a coordinated fashion, they are acting like corporate raiders and they're raiding America, right? So they're all out here. But guess what? There are so many more of us than there are of them. And they need us. We don't need them. We don't. And so what if we have been imprisoned by them up until now. And what if we say, you know what? Fuck you. We're going to use the platforms that you have built, that you've been sucking me dry to make money off of. And I'm going to use that against you. And I'm taking you down. And I'm going to take, if I can, I'm going to take every fucking woman in this country with me. And I want to join with the women in Iceland. And I want to join with the women in Ukraine. And I want to join with the women in Iran, right? Because we can do that
In
online
Australia.
and it's so easy. So fuck them, man. We can do this. And, you know, in our chat, we were talking about how as so I shared with you guys that I'm a sexual abuse survivor, and as women, we grow up knowing that you might be a danger to us, and we don't know necessarily how it's going to play out. You might even be our boyfriend or even my husband, and I might wake up and you're raping me. I don't know. But if you're a stranger to me, you're definitely a danger to me. And because of what happened to me,
Hey, Rebecca, can I say something?
Yes.
If it's that, I'm a perceived danger to you, right?
Yes.
In other words,
right.
all men are not a danger to you, right? But in your life experience and what you go through and all of this, I don't walk around with a sign that says I'm safe and the guy next to me says I'm dangerous, right?
Right.
And so you don't have a way to distinguish that. And the reason I'm saying that is because of what happened with Greg the other day, right? Is that it's what we're here to do, and what Rebecca and I have been able to do when we have these talks is because we allow each other to speak with each other and to explain these things and live them. And so for me, it gives me the ability to understand what Rebecca's saying, is that her life experience is always going to leave her looking at men, wondering whether they're a danger to her. And I'm trying to understand and comprehend that with her, and she's trying to understand what it's like to be a man who's not a danger to her, but needs to have the grace and the ability to communicate with her that I'm not a danger, but I do understand why you feel that way. I guess that's the point I wanted to make.
Right. And my body doesn't necessarily know the difference, right? So my body can be in full flight mode as I'm trying to stand still and have a normal conversation with you because I don't know what you are yet. My brain knows that you're safe, but my body doesn't necessarily know that you're safe, right? And so then the other thing that happens is now nighttime, going out at night, is cut off for me. I can't go out alone at night. I cannot go into covered parking lots during the day. I can't, it cuts, and I didn't even realize, guys, I've been dealing with this. It happened on my 18th birthday. I'm 55 fucking years old. And I'm just now realizing how small that kept my life. And I really want you to understand, I'm not blaming you. I'm not hating you. I love men. I fuck men. I love men. And I want to work with men, and I love the way your minds work. Okay. But I want you to understand that we live with PTSD all the time. And our ability to survive depends on our ability to manipulate you. And that's how we're raised. And that's sick. Right. But so we grow up with knowing that we're in danger all the time. Right. We grow up knowing that. And some of us have already experienced it. And then now we find out the Epstein thing. You guys, it is so much worse than we already knew it was. It is so much worse. And I want you guys to understand what a fucking emotional, spiritual, physical experience that is as a survivor, right? To think, oh my God, I knew it was bad. I knew my husband could rape me. I knew a random stranger could rape me. I knew I could walk to my car and someone could snatch me and I'd never be seen again. But now I find out that the whole world has been working together to rape our little girls. That's so not okay. That's so not okay. And if this shit is going down in flames, and I've been watching the news like I know you all have, I've been watching the news and I've been seeing the headlines, and I feel like this is going down in flames, but I'm here to tell you this is our opportunity, because we don't have to live like this anymore. Women, we don't have to live like this anymore. Men, you don't have to live like this anymore. Do you realize how few truly connected interactions you've had with women in your life because we have been so terrified and protecting ourselves and dealing with so much trauma that it was hard to just be present in the room with you? You don't even know that. Do you understand what it's like to have grown up your whole life putting underwear and bras on to find out that the man who made them was fucking raping children? I want you to just try to understand what that's like for us. And I am bringing that energy and that rage to my action because I don't have to live like this anymore, and none of us do. None of us do. They have been intentionally driving us apart with their fucking algorithms, trying to get us mad at each other, and they're the ones that are killing us. Right? They're the ones that are killing us. And so let's get together and be a healthy community that practices democracy in all that we do, that puts our love and our best selves forward, that stays committed to the principle of what we're doing, so that I can, sometimes Joel bugs the shit out of me. He talks so long and it's really hard for me to break in. and he makes my brain go off. And every time he says something, I want to respond, but I can't because he's droning on and on. But you know what? I love Joel, and I can give him room for that. And sometimes it feels like he's mansplaining to me, and that can be really irritating, especially if we're talking about the Epstein files. But Joel has to be able to talk about it, and I have to be able to give him room to talk about it, and I have to be able to give him room to maybe not do it gracefully at first. Joel?
So the part, I mean, there's just so much to that, right? But what Rebecca and I have learned about each other, and what we've agreed to do is we're here to make that available, and to and because this majority of our group at this point is women, we need to respect that and embrace that. And so she's going to be doing the online suffragette Saturday movement tomorrow. Okay. But what we've agreed on is we're here to move forward. Right. So what Rebecca hasn't told you about, which is really kind of cool, if you look at my shirt, it's the anonymous logo with the American flag on the eyeglasses, right? And she and I were talking about stuff today, and she got sober at 19 years old. Can you imagine going into AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and getting sober at 19 years old and holding that together her whole life, right? That woman, that is a really, really strong, powerful woman that you're listening to. Okay. And she has helped so many people in her life. And what we realized is we've got to bring that energy. And so we were talking about AA and what we're working on, and we came up with a 3-step program for IOD nations. Okay. And so the shirt says make democracy offensive, not anonymous. And the problem is we've all been too anonymous. I was anonymous for all these years where I was scared to come forward and speak. And then I finally decided I have to, right? Horace Mann says, be ashamed to die without having won some victory for humanity. And I have reached this point. My victory that I'm trying to win is to get the free and democratic people of the world to unite online. That's somehow or other the way my brain works and the way all of this has come together. I'm here. I made a New Year's resolution, and I made a commitment that I'm not going to hide anymore, and I'm not going to be a coward, and I'm going to work to make this happen. And I've got these amazing people and this amazing woman who wants to do that and work together on it. So that's where our focus is going to be, in how do we move that forward. So so we created the not anonymous, or the we didn't really name it yet, Rebecca. I think we said the democracy not anonymous 3-step program. So if you
Right.
follow,
let me tell you
explain it
about that.
Yeah, go.
So in our discussions, it's been amazing how often AA has something to say about whatever it is that Joel and I are discussing, right? It's to get us sober, but it's a spiritual program. And in AA, we talk about how alcoholics, you've probably seen this, you're familiar with this idea. Alcoholics have to hit bottom, right? They have to lose everything and to be completely convinced that there's no hope anymore, right? It's not going to be different this time. It's going to end in misery every time. You have to be convinced of that, right? And hit bottom. And then in Alcoholics Anonymous, we have 12 steps, right? But when Joel said, I have an anonymous shirt, I got the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I was like, "You have an anonymous shirt?" He goes, "Yeah, it's for the group." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so weird, right? Synchronicity." So instead of 12 steps, though, we've got 3 steps. And Gil, as soon as I'm done explaining this to you, I want to turn it over to you. So our steps, we have got 3 steps. 1, you click your mouse or your whatever, right, to get to our site, our portal. Then you're going to click to join.
Hey, what's our portal called, Rebecca?
What's it called? I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
iodnations.org, baby.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yes. So you go there to there, and then once you're in, you're going to tell us what your passion is. Why are you here? Because here, one of the things that I'll get to this more, but I feel like we all have been feeling like our heads are gonna fucking explode, right? I don't know what your issue is. I don't know if it's healthcare. I don't know if it's ICE. I don't know if it's disabled vet. I don't know what it is, right? But we all have our thing. It could be the end of democracy. I don't know what your thing is, but we all have a thing that is making us feel like, oh my God, I need to do something. I can't just sit here. I'm watching the news. I'm reading all the articles. I'm following all the lives. I'm up to date. I think I am. What are they saying on MSN? What are they saying on Al Jazeera? I mean, maybe that's just me. I don't know. But I think that I'm not alone. And I spend a lot of time looking in the comments, and all the comments everywhere I go in Substack is, oh my God, what are we doing? Oh my God, what's happening? And I feel like we're all in our own canoes, right? Going furiously against the stream, trying so hard to save each other and to save ourselves. What if we get out of our individual canoes and get in this big boat together, right? Which is this IOD nations that we are creating, and we build a new democracy with each other, directly participatory, and we have freedom, and we support each other in everything that you do. So if Guinevere comes in one day and she says, "You guys, I have a passion for prison reform. Does anybody care about this? Because I can't sleep knowing that prisoners are living this way," right? Whatever it is, then, however many thousands of us that are in the group that care about prison reform can go follow Guinevere, and we'll figure it out, right? And the team of guys here that you see, if you reach out to them, they will help you make it happen, because they are like an amazing technology dream team. So, okay. So you go, step 1, you click the mouse, you go to our portal. Step 2, you come into IOD Nation and you tell us, what is your passion? Why are you here? What's making you not be able to sleep at night? And then step 3, you just take the fucking action, like I talked about in my video. We will give you the message, we will give you the email addresses, and all you got to do is send it, baby. We can do that, right? So I want to hear from you guys, and I want to know what you think. We can do this. Are you feeling better? Do you feel empowered? Do you see the vision?
I do.
How about you, Gwen? Unmute yourself, baby.
Sorry. Yeah, I felt it last week, but yeah, it's a lot more clarity this week, and I loved what you had to say. I'm just wondering, is that what we all do? A video of our
No.
Well,
Oh, wait. No, wait.
Go ahead, Joel.
I want to say something, Gwen. So my initial reaction, so we all have these visceral reactions, right? So Ashfaq and Rebecca started to say no, and then I was going to start to say yes. But here's this magic of where you are right now, okay? I think I would love to see a bunch of shorts of women saying and expressing themselves like Rebecca did, right? I think that is something that would have so much power and so much impact. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter what I think, okay? This is you guys collaborating. This is you working together. So if you come in and you start working together, you get to put that up and say, hey, what, should we talk about doing a bunch of sort of testimonials like what IOD Nations means to us or what it would mean if women could unite? And you guys get to figure that out. That's the part that gets lost in all of this, right?
That's a wonderful idea.
This is
That's a
this is
wonderful idea,
power
Joel. That's
and
brilliant.
influence. Yeah, it's however you guys decide you want to do it. We just want you to come together and collaborate and try crazy shit and try amazing stuff and share your feelings like Rebecca did. Go ahead.
And oh man, here's the other thing is it was so easy for me to all I did was I called up Prakash and I said, hey, this is what I want to say. Can we do it over a Zoom so that I can just talk to you? And then he recorded it and then it was a video. Man, it was so easy. And I think that all of us have felt like Cassandras for so long, right? Dude, I had a serious suicide attempt behind the first Trump administration. I really did. I'm not kidding. My husband divorced me over it. My kids wouldn't talk to me over it. I've lost a kid over it. And I have felt like the Cassandra, like everybody was like, oh, you're overreacting. Oh, that's not going to happen. Fucking everything I thought was going to happen has happened, right? In the worst possible way. All that stuff has happened. And we don't have to be Cassandras in our lives anymore because all of us that are here right now see what's going on. And it's really weird to me to go out into the world where everybody else is acting like everything is fucking normal and they're going to work and they're going to McDonald's and they're doing all this stuff. And we're looking at it. That on Tuesday, I spent the day at home like, oh my God, are we going to have a nuclear disaster tonight? Right? No. And that was my whole day. And when I met up with a friend at night, I said, how did you manage today? Are you okay? She was like, what are you talking about? She hadn't seen the news. And I was like, oh my God, what a totally different reality she's experiencing right now. And I'm so glad that I have you guys because I know that you guys were sitting at home watching TV, stressing out all day too. And because you know what's going on, right? And so we can talk to each other and we support each other. Like the women and I, we've been sharing our art with each other and we've been talking about our kids with each other. And it's just nice to have a like-minded community knowing that when, come Monday or whatever it is, we are
Karma,
going to
beautiful.
send out
Rakesh is
this
wonderful. Where is
emails
he?
to as many people as we can find. And so I have two asks and I have one suggestion. Okay. My first ask is go to the portal and get that all set up, right? So that you're in with us. Then,
So what are the three steps again?
okay, the 3 steps. Click your mouse to go to our portal. Number 2, click your mouse to engage with
Join.
IOD Nations and join. And number 3 is you get involved. Send a fucking email. Sign up for a campaign. Find your humans, right? Because we all have our humans, and we find each other. And so
Let me
that's
jump
what you're
in,
going to
Rebecca,
do.
if I can.
Please do.
So just and just so you guys understand, Rebecca and I have been spending enough time talking to each other. We are comfortable interrupting each other. We roll with it, and we both have that type of personality. So please don't
And
think that
I'm
we're
really bad interrupter. I'm really bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to
We
interrupt.
respect each other and we adapt to it. But here's
Wait, hang on, Joel. I'm sorry, but Rakesh has had his hand up for a while. Rakesh, could you please?
No, not Rakesh.
That's Ashfaq.
All right.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No worries. I can see that I didn't log in and doesn't have my name, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So first thing is, I think Rakesh should bring in the video that we made last week about the ground rules and play. We all need to know the ground rules, right? And the second thing is, I've been seeing Jill's hand and then she lowered. So I think we should give some time to Jill and ask her, what like she.
So
absolutely.
okay, so if we're
Jill.
gonna Wait, hang on. If we're going to do that, we'll do the ground rules. But I think, Ashfaq, we should let you take that over. And so the idea is that people get 3 minutes to talk.
Yeah.
And they can raise their hand. Anyone who's out there can come in and share. If anything that you have, come in and talk about it that you want to bring up, and we're going to provide some structure for that and make it move forward in a way that is more organized. So go ahead, Ashfaq.
Yeah, so let's hear from Jill first, and then we'll move to that video part or the rule part. So Jill, if you can hear us, you can unmute and come talk to us.
Yeah, no, it's just as Rebecca was talking, and I think it is really that bit that from young girls, as soon as we become aware, we're taught about men and how to behave with men, what to wear, what not to wear. If we wear this, we'll be safe, but if we look like that, we won't be, and we'll be asking for trouble, or all that ingrained. We can't walk out of the house or go out at night without knowing how we're going to get home safely. It just, all that stuff really sort of hit, but it just is years and years that it's indoctrinated in us,
Yes.
in how to keep ourselves safe. And we don't know, and actually that's our gut intuition that actually keeps us safe and tells
Yeah.
us that someone is a danger to us, and we have to listen to that. And it could be the nicest man in the world, but to us we've been taught that we're vulnerable to that. And I'm that's going to take a long time to break, but the things to me are, we hit hardest where it's hardest hurting at the moment. And at the moment, the people being hardest hurt are the survivors who've waited years and cannot wait any longer. And I think you've got to start with those fires first before, we can get to underneath some of that.
Absolutely. I so agree with you. And one of the most amazing conversations that Joel and I had is I was telling him about this experience, of what it's like for us. And he was stunned by my story, right? I haven't even told you guys half of it. And and he was stunned by my story and he got emotional. And I said, Joel, we all know, you guys have no idea what our lives are like. If I tell that story to a woman, she'll go, I'm sorry that happened to you. This is what happened to me. Because we know.
Absolutely.
And they have no clue. And I said to him, Joel, do you realize you have not had a truly intimate relationship probably with a woman in your life because she's been traumatized and hasn't been able to be present with you? And he was like,
And I think that's why we can look in the eyes of those survivors and we know it happened. We don't need files to tell us it happened. Yes, we need them so that people are brought to justice. But I think any woman that has listened to a survivor or looked in their eyes knows, because something in their eyes has gone. It's been stolen from them. And we need to do as much as we can to try and give some of that back. It will never take it all away, but even if we can get some of that back for them through empowerment and justice, then, we've done our bit, or as much as
yeah.
we can do.
Jill, I went to therapy when it happened and I went to a rape counselor and I did all the things, right? And I didn't know, it happened when I was 19 and now I'm 55 and I'm just realizing how small it kept my life. And I didn't even know. I thought I was doing all the things. I was treating it. I was doing all the things. I was taking the meds. I was going to the classes. I was doing all the things. And I wasn't feeling better. My life was so small. And imagine what would have and the crazy thing was that I was on the beach with my boyfriend and we had just finished having a conversation about what it meant to be a woman. And then these motherfuckers showed up. And that's what it means to be a woman. Answered that question right there.
And that's what I
And
say to everyone is you look at a survivor that could have been any one of us. Any
Yeah.
one of us. We're just lucky you know, I mean, obviously you haven't, and so many women haven't been, myself included, but we could have been any one of them trafficked. And these are the people that survived. We don't know
Yeah.
the people that haven't. And
yeah,
actually, to me, Virginia Dufresne did not take her own life. She was murdered.
yes, she was.
She was murdered. That's not taking your own life. She was murdered. And, you know, I believe that of any survivor or victim who has resorted to that, that wasn't a decision that they've taken. It was taken for them.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. And I think that we don't even realize how much these monsters have fucked with our lives. We don't even realize how much they have intentionally estranged us from one another, right? We don't even realize how much we have been punished for taking our own initiative or having belief in ourselves our whole lives, especially as women, right? Because if we take initiative, we're bitches, right? We're power hungry, whatever, you know the whole thing, right? So we have to keep ourselves big enough so that we get to do what we want, but small enough so that you guys don't feel threatened, right? So it's this constant balancing act. And what I'm suggesting to you women is that we know how to do balancing acts, right? For those of us who've been moms, motherhood is walking through one crisis after another. And what do? We just keep breathing because the kids still have to eat, right? No matter how I'm feeling about it, the kids still have to eat. And so we can do this. We can feel our pain. We can realize that as we're doing this, we have a lot of healing to do with each other. And we will do that because we're seeking freedom and we're doing it in a democratic way with one another, right? Does that make sense to you guys?
It does. It does. So I saw Bob was raising his hand for quite some time. So let's hear from Bob.
Please.
Bob, hear us.
Bob's a free radical.
Okay, let's hear from him. Bob, can you unmute yourself and speak with us?
If we didn't ignore you too long.
Yeah, sorry about that. Really, I mean, these ladies have something important, and we didn't want to interrupt them. So I hope you understand.
And I apologize, Bob, because I can't see your raised hand at all. I'm on my phone. I can't see your raised hand. So I really need somebody else to keep an eye out and wave wildly at me or something if there's a raised hand so that I know.
All right. So,
Yeah.
Bob, you there?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
there.
Can you hear me now?
yes.
Yes.
We can.
Good. Okay.
Are you my uncle?
Yeah, what's that?
I say, are you my uncle?
I
Gwen
don't know.
Gwen knows what I'm saying. There's a phrase I think it's Australian, and they say, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I've actually heard the Mythbusters characters say, yes, and Bob's your uncle. I've been in the chat and I just actually got my question answered about the IOD being a .com or .org. And that's fine. That got answered. So I appreciate the ability to actually enter a meeting of this sort. I didn't realize that the technology was this flexible. So thank you for doing what you're doing, and I'll just buzz off here, okay?
Hey, wait,
No worries.
before you
Thanks for
buzz off.
being here.
Wait,
Yeah,
Bob,
we
before you
want to
buzz
hear
off.
from you, Bob. Like, where you are
What?
from? How did you find us? What do you think about
Yeah,
what
Bob,
you
I
learned?
want to know
Uh,
what's on your mind? Like, what do you think? What are you worrying about? What are you worrying about?
my specific concern is the fact that the American public has been bamboozled so much. We've been shown an alleged deadly plague in the form of the pandemic that just passed. And so many people, there's people these days even who are still wearing masks on their faces because they're paranoid about getting some who knows, some deadly plague, when in fact, um, it calls into question, even there's people who are addressing the idea of, do viruses even exist at all? And I think the questioning is entirely legitimate. But for the mainstream, I know as much as my siblings as much as disowned me because I'm too weird, but my idea is question everything, because there is so much that gets called into question when they say, "Oh, deadly virus, it's going to kill you. Wear a mask on your face. Stay 6 feet apart. People," and it's all bogus. And what I would like to be able to there's a particular Star Trek episode, and I'm sorry about the long explanation, but there's the Star Trek episode was that somebody was able to infiltrate the crew of the Enterprise by way of a video game that is so addictive and it screws with people's minds that the entire crew was sort of like hypnotized with this thing. And at the last minute, Data comes onto the bridge with a strobe light and sort of breaks the trance that everybody was in and says, "Okay, we need to wake up from this and do something." And what America needs is like the Data with a strobe light sort of effect of coming on and saying, let's break out of this brainwashing that's been happening.
Can I respond to that, Gil? I'm really glad that you said that, because that's a really great example. So I'm a nurse, a retired, I'm disabled now, but I'm a retired nurse. And so there is a big part of my body that has like a physical reaction when you start questioning when you start talking about, do viruses exist, right? Is COVID really real? Because in my reality, I have a different perception than you do. But there is room for us to have those different beliefs, because that is not why we're here. We are here to build democracy. We are here to save the planet. We are here to save my children. My oldest daughter is 23 years old. She's already been raped. Let us fucking stop this now. And it kind of freaks me out that you say that about COVID, but I can put that over there, because I am connecting to you heart to heart right now as an American, as a person on this planet, to say, we have to do this together, Bob. And if I think you have crazy ideas about viruses and you think I am totally deluded about viruses, that's okay, because right now we need to save democracy. Does that make sense?
It's good. Thank you. And basically, wow, it's already noon straight up right now. I have appointments to keep. Unfortunately, there are things that scream for attention on my time. I've got to basically bail out of this call. Sorry.
That's okay. Hey, you're welcome back anytime.
All right, thanks a whole lot.
Of course. So you guys, one of the things that I did, I just want to say this real quick, Joel, is so they took out my uterus and I haven't been able to sleep ever since. And so I spend my time on Substack, and I spend my time on YouTube, right? And I'm watching everybody's posts and I'm seeing who has the most followers, right? And I'm reading the comments. I've been doing a lot of comments, and I'm seeing which comments are people reacting to the most, right? And all of these are people who are screaming. They're like me. Their heads are about to come off, because what are we doing? We're watching this happen, and what can I do? I'm just sitting here. I'm just watching it happen. What can I do? And here's the thing. We've all put our bodies out there and nothing has changed. So what can we do? This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to do it together. My grandfather was in the Air Force during World War II, and he was shot down over Italy, and he was the ranking officer. And so for 3 years, he had to make sure that this group of men that was getting increasingly smaller were fed, had medical attention, had proper bedding, had enough to stay warm, because they're marching all through Europe, through the Alps and all this stuff. My grandfather didn't expect that. He didn't join the Air Force thinking that he was going to be the hero of a POW camp during World War II, but he was called to serve. And you and I are being called to serve right now. My grandfather was in the Air Force. He served in World War II. My dad was in the Air Force. He served in Vietnam. And I knew that there was no fucking way I was ever going into the Air Force. So you guys can just put that dream away right now, right? But this is how I'm being called to serve now. And this is how you're being called to serve now. And we've all been getting pieces of this ancient wisdom, pieces of a collective wisdom. And when we come together, something really beautiful happens. And we get these new ideas and we go in new directions and we see how we can do it differently and better and more lovingly and more honestly. And that makes me really excited. And that's when Joel started talking, I saw the possibility and I was like, yes, we can change the world and heal each other at the same time. Because I've been sober for 37 years and I come from a tradition where we look out for each other, right? I try to help the new woman get sober. That's my job. I've been here around a long time. I know what I'm doing. It's my job. And I feel like right now it's our job to pull each other through this and do this together and experience the trauma of what we're going through and what they've fucking done to us, right? But we'll get through it together and we'll do it together and it's going to work. Yes.
Hey, I'm not sure if you can see me, Debra, but I'm saluting you.
Okay.
Joel.
This is where Rebecca and I have talked through a number of times what we want to do, how we want to communicate, how we want this to feel. How can we best connect with people? How can we share the message in a way that works? So I would say a couple of things. First of all, what she's talking about, a chance to serve. Everything in our world has this new foundation of the virtual world and the internet. Every business now, you don't open a business unless you have an internet presence and a website, right? You create a channel for it. You create an online store, whatever it is. Medical improvements, they're all being shared now across the internet. They're happening quicker. New drug programs. Everything in our world is being organized, especially if they can make money off of it on the internet. But the one thing that's not organized and strategic and tactical on the internet is citizen-led democracy. So for some of you, I'm gonna take a moment here. There's in Taiwan in 2014, the young people rebelled against their government. Okay. And it was called the Sunflower Movement. And the end result of that is after 11 years or whatever since that, they established this online portal that links with their government. And now they have 50% of their citizens are registered online. They directly interact with their government. They get things moved forward quickly. I could tell you about that. But the bottom line is this: now they went from a 9% approval rating of their government to a 70% approval. And what we're saying is we have to unite online and champion and protect and improve freedom and democracy. And when we talked earlier about this idea when Gwen was here, that they can, if women are going to do this and unite, women are going to do it. It's just not a question of it.
All right, Joel.
It's just a matter of how long they're going to wait. Hang on. But if you do that, you can accomplish these things that you want to accomplish, and these models are already shown to work. And we're gonna facilitate that. Go ahead, Ashfaq.
Yeah, we need to play the the rules video and stuff. So are you ready for that?
Yes,
Sure,
please
go ahead.
do.
All right. So Draco, can you share your screen and start playing that video for us? Draco here. Okay. All right. It's going on.
Welcome to IOD Nations Live. Before we get started, here are a few ground rules that keep this space safe, respectful, and powerful for everyone.
We're a little
Number
late.
1, respect every participant, no exceptions. Number 2, raise your hand in Zoom before speaking. Wait for the host to call on you. Number 3, mute yourself when you are not speaking. Number 4, one person speaks at a time, no interrupting. Number 5, stay on topic. Keep it relevant. Number 6, no hate speech, no harmful language, 0 tolerance. Number 7, hosts have final authority. If they step in, that decision is final. And number 8, come with good faith. We are all here for the same reason, to build citizen-led democracy together. These rules exist to protect every voice in this room. Respect them, and let's build something extraordinary together. Welcome to IOD Nations.
Joel, that's the first time I've heard that, and I've been to several of these lives, and we have to start with that every time. That's the first thing we do, right?
All right.
Right?
You're the boss. You're the boss. Make it happen.
All right.
Guys, what do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah,
want to
we
hear from
meant
everybody.
to. We just no, we're
Okay.
going to. We just screwed up.
Okay.
We're still learning, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But we're also we have a respectful group. So so can you take a peek at the agenda, Rebecca? What's on there that we haven't hit?
The only thing that we haven't hit is like really, I think this is the final piece. This is our ask for right now. So okay, there's two things. We as a group can decide. We have the Victoria's Secret email ready to go, right? It's ready to launch. You can go check it out.
Not
check out the link.
quite ready to go.
Huh?
It's not quite ready. I don't think we're going to have it ready until Monday. I don't think we'll
No,
have the email
it's
addresses
ready.
and stuff.
It's ready. I've been there, Joel. It's ready.
Really?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay.
Already posted it, and I couldn't got the opportunity to inform you before the live feed. So everyone who is watching our live feed, you can go to our Substack and find that article.
So here's the thing, though.
I want to
don't
talk
think
about
there's-
it a little bit. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay, I want you to, but if I could just say that I think that we don't have enough people yet to launch that campaign, right? Because it needs to be crushing
agree.
numbers. So this is what I decided to do, and I want to know what you guys think. Because normally I would not do this. I would never do this. But I have had that same number the entire existence of cell phones. And right, so I have 37 years worth of AA meeting phone numbers in my in my phone. I know a lot of people. I am going to go through, and normally I would not do this, and especially because in Alcoholics Anonymous, right, there is this one of our ground rules is we don't talk about politics because we have to stay focused on why we are there, which is to save our lives and stay sober, right? So we don't talk about politics ever. So, but a lot of the people in my phone list are going to be alcoholics who are going to be like, what the fuck? Somebody from AA is texting me about, and so, but I'm doing that because that's how urgent I feel. The reality of the food shortages is there, whether people see it or not. Our country is the only country not telling the citizens to prepare. Did you know that? Every other country is telling citizens that there's going to be food shortage and they got to start laying shit by. Our government is not saying that. They're handling it just like they did COVID, those motherfuckers. And so we need to be real. And I feel like this has crazy urgency. Like it makes me not able to sleep, right? And I'm not normally like so manic. I really am not. I sit at home and I craft and I hang out with my cats normally. But right now I'm on fire because the world's on fire. And so I'm going to reach out to every single person in my contact list every single person that I know. And I drafted a personal statement of what it is that I'm saying to them and why I'm reaching out. And if you want, I can share it with you. And if you want, you can use it or you can write your own. But this is my ask. I'm going to ask them to go to IOD Nations. Step one, go to IOD Nations, right? Click two, they're going to go and tell us what their interest is. And then we're going to gather numbers and we're going to gather numbers and we're going to ask our friends to do the same thing, to contact, if they don't want to live in a world anymore that thinks it's okay to rape little boys and girls, if we want to change our lives and save the goddamn planet, then please will they take a moment to do this. And even if all they have time to do or the willingness to do or the ability to do is to reach out to 5 of their contacts, that's enough, right? Because what if those 5 contacts ask everybody that they know, or even just 5 contacts, but then they ask everybody that they know, and they ask everybody that they know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? You get it, how it's gonna just explode. And so that is why I'm gonna sit down and take the time, as much as it's gonna be a pain in my ass, I kind of think it's worth saving the world. I'm gonna send this to every person in my contact, right? Because that's something I can do so that I sit here and I watch the news and I doom scroll. I don't have to do that anymore. I come to IOD Nations and I take contrary action and I feel better because I'm doing something and because I'm not watching the fucking TV, right? And I'm not reading the articles. I'm with you guys, I'm with my people, and I'm taking action to save my kids. That's what I'm doing. And I think that we can do that. I think it's worth going through every contact you have at this point. Then the other thing that I'm doing is I have been going, like I started to say, I've been going to all the influencers. I have been going to and then I find the women or the men, it doesn't matter, the people who have the most number of responses, right? And I have been reaching out directly to them. And I have been, whether I know them or not, and I say, if you feel like your head is about to blow up, please come meet me at IOD Nations. We have a plan, we are doing it, and it will happen. And then I put 3 fire symbols and I said, fuck them. And that's what I'm sending out. So I think it's worth it. So I've been posting that to all these women, right? I've been posting it to all these women all night. That's what I did. And do you know how many conversations I had and how many connections I made? And I bet a lot of you I've reached out to, a lot of you that are in the Substack audience. I can't see you, but I bet you it's because I reached out to you. I'm Gracious Monkey. And I reached out to you. And you know what I did, you guys? I led with my heart and I read how much pain and frustration and heartbreak and soul sickness these people were feeling. And I said, Guinevere, I feel you. I'm right there with you. Come with me. Let's make it better. That's what I've been trying to do. And I've been trying to lead with that love so that when you read my message, you feel that and you come find me. Right? And that works. That works. There's scientific evidence that vibe shift works. Right? So let's get a massive fucking vibe shift going in our new democratic nation. I feel like I should have victory music
Nations.
now.
Yeah.
Because Greg, we're going to be a part of the online Democratic Men's Nation, and we're all going to clap and have victory music together, right?
Okay, let's welcome
Yes.
Dr. Jisnil.
You talking to me?
I was
You
talking to
me?
you.
Yeah, we're gonna do it, man.
Right
Okay,
on.
We're
cool.
gonna do it.
Take it over, Ashfaq.
So let's welcome Dr. Jisnil and Trajectory. I'm really happy to finally hear your voice. And I can see a new guest just joined in called iPhone. I mean, it's just showing their phone model. So welcome to this conversation, this group chat or whatever you want to call it. It's a live stream. We would love to hear from you. You can unmute and come talk.
Yeah, I really want to know what is making it so that you can't sleep, if you can't sleep.
Yeah.
Okay,
you guys got to talk, or I'm going to talk, and I'm more than ready. So,
Dr. Jesnil, do you want to say
Who are you
something?
talking to, Rebecca?
I'm sorry, I'm talking
Who
to
are
the
you
guy
talking
with
to?
the cap on.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, can I talk for a second or not?
I do
I can't see the hands, so I'm sorry. Please go. I'm not trying to cut anybody off. I'm so sorry.
If anybody wants to say something, let's raise the hands and let's hear from them one by one. Unless anybody have something really urgent or important.
Okay. AC, was that you? Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I think AC.
I'm really glad you're here, AC.
Yeah, we too. Okay, I can see Jill's hand, so let's start with Jill.
Okay.
Couple of things that I'm sort of missing. So we sort of throw out our Substack names and stuff. Is there a way that someone can do a list of those so that we can, because literally I would start having a look now, but because I'm focusing on what people are saying and so on, I'm not, and I don't see the live comment either because I'm on my phone, only the panel ones. So I think we miss quite a lot of that information. Because one of the things I was saying is I think we all need to start following each other and boosting each other's accounts for visibility of the things that we're doing and the things that are going on. But and I missed a load of that earlier in the week when there were a huge amount of people on the call, and I just think it'd be really helpful. But I don't know. I would do it myself, but unfortunately, disability wise, I can only sort of talk or not, and I can't listen and scribe or sort of take notes.
We can do that, but here's the thing is I kind of imagine it growing organically because are you in Britain?
Yes.
So you're going to have your influencers are going to be different than my influencers.
And
right?
that's exactly why I think we should all be following each other's accounts because
We
get
can
that.
do that. I think it would be good if we all showed up in the same account at the same time, right? Like if we all showed up in Adam, like if we all showed up in Adam Mockler's feed, right? And
Yeah.
we all were like,
Yeah.
"Hey Adam, come join us
Yeah.
over at IOD. Hey Adam,
Yeah.
hey Adam, hey
Yeah.
Adam, hey Adam."
Yeah.
And we can just do that, right?
Yeah.
We-
Totally
okay.
agree.
So we have a meeting. We do it the same. It's 2:00, same time, Saturdays. It's the women's working group. It's the women's working group, right? It's
I was there
suffragettes.
last week.
Excellent. So we had a woman named Deborah that was working with
Yeah.
us. But that kind of we've separated ways. And so I'm going to be taking that over, but I don't have to be in charge of it. I can just make it happen. Somebody else can be in
No.
charge of it. We can figure it out. And let's figure out, let's each of us between now and Saturday come up with how many suggestions each, you tell me, of where we should go. And we'll combine forces and do it, and we'll figure out what shows at what time, and that will be there. Okay, so can you come armed with that information and commit to me how many influencers you're going to bring? What is a realistic number? Is it 3? Is it 5? Is it 10? Is it 25?
Yeah, for me, it's quite limited at the moment because of how disabled I am. But I can keep hitting influencers on Substack. I tend not to use other platforms at the moment for a certain reason. But I'm happy to sort of bombard, and I have been because I've got a petition going from the UK about a state visit, which the guys know about as well, and I'm trying to stop it from happening. Our king and queen are coming, and they're going to address Congress and so on. But the king's own brother will not stand before Congress and testify, even though it's been continually requested. But they're going to come and they're going to meet behind closed doors with Trump and so on. And, they're potential witnesses. It's outrageous. And what does that say to they're not going to meet with survivors or talk to survivors. So
Right. That's the thing I was saying,
yeah.
Jill, is like
Yeah.
and I'll shut up, but how crazy is it
Yeah.
to realize that it's so much worse than we already knew that it was, and they did it on purpose. They
Yeah.
did it on purpose.
And they've all covered it up.
And they
It's the
groomed us
people
for
and
it.
the women that have enabled it. That's what makes me even angrier. And I know everybody should be held accountable to the same level, but I'm even more angry with the women that enabled it. I can't understand that because that they represent us, and how dare they do that
Yes.
when so many women have suffered. I just that's the bit that grates me. But I've already got it going. The guys know about it and so on. But I need
Can you come?
traction.
Can you come tomorrow?
Yeah, I will do my best. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
great. And I love that you brought up that you might only be able to do 3 influencers, and Joel, you're muted. I love that you would only be able to do a few because you know what? We get to meet each other where we're at. And that's the beauty
Yeah.
of it. I'm disabled too. And I have put my body out there on the line, man. I've been protesting in Washington since I was in college. I've dragged my kids to protest. They were like, oh God, mom, not another one. And I was like, it's important and you'll understand why someday. and and I can't put my body out there anymore.
And
But I
that's
don't
what
need
they
to.
wrote. Yeah, that's what the guys wrote about me. I can't go on marches. I can't go to a ballot box. I watch these things and I want to be a part of them, but I can't be apart from watch them in solidarity. So, the guys were fantastic earlier this week with around some of the things that I said, but and I think it is, those different nation perspectives as well, as you've all touched on earlier. So I will very happily be attending tomorrow.
Yay. Can we hear from AC? And then
Thank you. Thank you.
yes.
I'm on the phone, so I can't find the hand feature. When I'm on the laptop, it's so easy to find the hand feature, but I can't hear. So so the things I was gonna say is a couple. One, United We Stand shop. It's a shop of free ideas. So Gil, by the way, I love your accent. It's so pretty. Anyways, if you want to go do something from home, all free, go to there. And the initial information is we're in basically a media blackout in the United States, right? I mean, they want this to be new Russia. So there's just information for the first 4 or 5 pages of, hey, this is actually what's going on. And then you're going to get to the move money movement. And from that point on, it's a block of ideas. One color is one idea, the next color is another idea. And it's a whale of information. What you do is over a lunch hour, you just read it while you're like drinking your tea and eating. And then you figure out something that speaks to you and go do it. And there's some really, kick-ass actions in there that are free to do. So, and put that out, because I know there's a lot of senior complexes. There's a lot of people who they are in their home, but they want to do something. And guess what? You can do a lot from your home. And there's a choice of what you make and do. There's an action like calling your representative, and on certain things that might be the right thing to do. But there's other things that when you press a domino, it just doesn't hit one domino. It hits 100 or 1,000. And those are more strategic moves. So when you're sending information to a union, when you're sending information to a veterans organization with some of the veterans information of how they're hurting them right now, when you're sending this to senior advocacy groups who have millions and millions of people a part of that group, and they're understanding that they want this next $1.5 trillion for this war to come out of their hides, just like last year. And last year they didn't, advertise it, but this December of 2026, $500 billion or $500 billion is coming from Medicare, which is healthcare for the elderly. And 1 in 4 nursing homes is going to go down. What are you going to do? And they're going to take more from food. And within, December of 2028, right after the next election, the presidential election, and these are both after elections, you're going to have around, don't quote me, $940 billion, almost $1 trillion taken from Medicaid. And what 45% of that is kids and, delivering of babies, their healthcare. And then you have 15% is people with disabilities, and about 20% are elderly people. And some of the last 30% are either people who are unemployed or people who are working poor, and they won't have healthcare. And all of those costs are going to be amortized over us next year. And the things that you can do about that, like send out to companies, like the largest companies in your state. Here, can you work on expanding direct physician care, which is physicians that don't use insurance? They just give you a flat rate. And that way you could afford your healthcare next year. Like, there are things that you can do to promote stuff. Now, if you want to help the survivors, there's a really cool one on there at the bottom, and you can send it to different nations. Okay, Peter Thiel, from what I read a couple years ago, had a bunker in New Zealand. So I don't know, you could take that letter and send it to New Zealand and saying, there's a lot of these people that are in the Epstein files, like Peter Thiel and Trump and Musk and Gates and Ludnick and Bannon and all these other people. Great. So here's my question to you. When you're going through the files and you're looking through this and you want to investigate them, my questions to your nation are you going to be investigating these people and freezing their passports, freezing their business licenses, freezing their assets? Are you going to stop having them do business in your countries? Are you going to boycott their products? I'm just asking some questions about what you're looking to do with people that are in the files. Do you think if you had multiple nations following that, what that might do to these people? I'm just saying, and that's something you could do from your home, disabled or whatever. So I'll shut up now. I want to empower people.
Oh my God, AC, that's inspiring. Joel, do you want to go first, or should we hear from Jackie? Because I am able to see her hand raised. Joel, you're muted. Still muted. Still muted. Okay, why don't we hear from Jackie while Joel figures his shit out?
He will. I have confidence in Joel. Hi, I'm Jackie Ampro. I am an applied anthropologist and one of the world's few certified hypnotherapists who is also an anthropologist. So I look at culture and language, neuroscience, quantum physics, I mean, the whole gamut of what makes us human. I have a background in medicine, so I really do have serious understandings of neuroscience. And as a certified hypnotherapist, I also have an understanding of subconscious behavior. And so I'm looking at multiple levels of patterns of how all this stuff came about, how it fits together, and then practical things that we can do to take back our conscious choice, because we have been robbed of our conscious choice. In fact, I have a book that is almost finished. The book is mostly written. I'm working on cover design and things like that. It's called Mental Freedom, Mental Sovereignty, and specifically for helping to reclaim mental freedom and mental sovereignty, and to understand how it is we lose it. How does control and manipulation work? Who gets targeted? And how can we protect ourselves and then support other people to regain or defend their conscious freedom without taking over? Because we have to have an ethical framework for doing that. The other thing is that I'm part of the Money and You community with Dame Doria Cordova. That program is the longest running entrepreneurial training program in the world. It's very big in Asia, and it's not as well known in the United States and North America. But if you know who Jack Canfield is, and Sharon Lechter, and T. Harv Eker, Tony Robbins, if you know who some of those people are, they were all graduates of Money and You before they became famous. Doria Cordova is one of the mentor of mentors in the world. And so she is my mentor and my daughter's mentor. And we do some work with her. And so I'm tying together the idea of, money, and the system of money right now is driven by scarcity. And scarcity is based on the idea that is false that many people believe about Charles Darwin, that he said that it's the survival of the fittest and competition is the driver of evolution. And actually, what Darwin said was that cooperation is humanity's superpower. Let that sink in. Do you know who coined the phrase survival of the fittest? It was Herbert
No.
Spencer, who was a bigoted philosopher who was trying to justify why there should be white supremacy and why some people should be enslaved and other people should be the masters. That's who Herbert Spencer was.
Jackie, can I
Competition,
just say, Jackie, can I just say,
yeah,
I think that like we feel that intuitively. I'm so excited to hear what you have to say right now because we've all lost family members to MAGA, right? And we all have people that we don't even know how to talk to, right? They're living in a whole different reality. And even those of us who think that we're on the same page, we're not on the same page, man. We are not on the same page. And just in talking to these women, I've been realizing how the generational differences, right? How differently we interact based on how old we are and what our expectations are of each other based on how old we are and the gender differences between me and Joel. You know, I'm in mostly my social life revolves around AA and I stick with the women. So I'm really sorry to interrupt your jam, but you are, I feel like we're all little pieces of the puzzle and you just turned out to be such a crucial piece of our puzzle. And I'm so happy you're here. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
that's all right. I don't know if you want me to stop.
No,
Do
please go
have a
on.
couple more things to say.
Please go on. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'll shut up. I'll shut up.
I understand. What I'm trying to get at is that the culture that we have built, the systems economically, socially, governmentally, familially, all the systems that we have, somebody dreamed up. They were all created by humans from somebody's imagination. And then somebody else said, oh, well, that seems reasonable. We'll do it that way. And then more people did it that way. And it became just what is. And the system of scarcity, you know, most of you probably already know that Thomas Malthus was the economist that said, well, the planet can't support a growing population of humans, and therefore resources are scarce, and we should base our economic systems on scarcity. And then our Buckminster Fuller came along and found that he was absolutely wrong. Buckminster Fuller did the calculations and figured out that there is ample energy available. We just don't have the distribution for it. It's also true that we have more than enough capacity to grow food, but we don't have the will to distribute it. And we don't have the systems. And most of our problems as humans, as Edward Deming said, our problems are systems. 94% of the time, it's a bad system that is working. And it's only 6% of the time that it's a human error. So if we understand that we have the power to build new systems, Buckminster Fuller also said to don't just try to fight the model that exists, build a new one that makes the old model obsolete. Okay, so I'm going to suggest to you all to start thinking about what new model in your family and in your community can you build that is no longer based on the myths of scarcity and separation. Separation is where I believe that you and I are separate. What happens to you is your problem. What happens to me is, you know, it has nothing to do with you, and I just need to go get mine. Okay. So those two myths are driving the way humanity is interacting with each other. And we can think about humanity as a fractal. How you interact with your close relationships, in your friendships and your family and your work, in your community, that is actually a fractal, a small model of what's happening in the outer world. And every time you think, well, I can't talk to those people over there because they're MAGA. Believe me, I feel that same pain. Believe me, I am not saying that I'm free of conflict. But I am saying that if we don't start talking across the divisions that are artificial and were constructed to support those in power and keep us separated, because the real issue isn't the issues we have with people in MAGA who are like us. The real issue is that the top has extracted most of the wealth and taken it up to the top and left the middle class and the lower classes with very little wealth, even though we're the ones who
Okay.
actually generate it. Okay.
So
I'll stop.
Jackie, I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to jump in here. And what's interesting, so can you hear me?
Yes. You're unmuted.
Okay. So my dog's name is Bucky. Okay. He's named after Buckminster Fuller. And so it's really interesting that you present this thing. And if you were to ask Ashfaq and Draco and the guys who work with me, that quote by Buckminster Fuller, I'm going to give, it's multiple quotes, and I'm going to give the whole thing because that is the foundation of this. And I think I don't want it to sound wrong, but I want to give you a perspective on what we're doing that's related to Buckminster Fuller. So Buckminster Fuller said, you never change things from within. Don't fight forces, use them. If you want to change something, build a new model that makes the previous model obsolete. We are intended, or he said, dare to be naive. We are intended to be architects of the future and not its victims. And so the point is, I would like to relate that back to what you're talking about, because that is the essence of what we're doing. So in IOD nations, I'm going to use the IOD Women's Nation as an example, the International Online Democratic Women's Nation. They get to create this whole structure. When the women of the world unite online, when Buckminster Fuller said everything that he said, and when he was teaching what he was teaching, there was no internet available. There was not this way to organize online and create your old world and create your new models and um, and be the architects of the future. And that is what IOD Nations is. We're saying, and the women are going to meet tomorrow for the online suffragette Saturday, where they're organizing as a women's organization or movement or nation. But we're here to say that's available for LGBTQ, and it's available for climate activists, and it's available for pet lovers. I love puppies, right? Puppies and dogs, if you live in a democracy, their lives are going to be twice as good or way better. So if we can't unite online for people, let's do it for the puppies. And the point of all of this is that what IOD Nations does is exactly what you talked about. Each entity, each group, each online democratic nation, they get to create their whole economy and their own constitution and their own Bill of Rights. And so all of those things that you were talking about, that's what we're here to do. And we would love it if you would come in and work with us from that perspective, that you've now found this place where we're actually putting into place what you're talking about, and we're going to make it happen, and you could be a part of that. And does that make sense to you?
Well, absolutely. I don't even know exactly how I found out about IOD, but um, we need localized movements and global movements all working together, at least in harmony. And when you have guiding principles like Buckminster Fuller's to work with, then you can do that much more easily. And because you're on the same page, I mean, that's exactly where I'm coming from. I mean, my whole thing is Bucky's quote about and I put it in the chat. How do we make the world work for 100% of humanity in the shortest possible time through spontaneous cooperation without ecological offense or the disadvantage of anyone? That was his overall challenge to us, and that's the challenge I'm trying to make. My daughter and I
So
are
I'm going to
finishing
ask.
this book. We
Hang
want to
on,
get our
Joel.
YouTube
I'm gonna.
channel started.
Wait,
Yeah,
Joel,
go
no,
ahead.
don't. Joel, please don't. Hang on. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I've tried to cut Joel off. Joel, don't take it personally because Dr. Jessenel has had his hand up for quite a long time, and I really want to hear from him. So, Joel,
Okay.
hold that thought, write it down, and I love you. And Dr. Jessenel, could you please unmute yourself and go ahead?
A couple things. Somebody asked me for email addresses to Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah,
Did
that's
they get
Yes. So we
All right.
have it on our Substack. If you go to our sub, and we're not ready to do it yet, so just go and look at it. Don't do it yet because we're going to coordinate
all
it,
I
right?
did was send the email addresses that I found and phone numbers.
Oh, you can send them. Where should he send them?
No, we have them.
Oh,
You got those?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got
we
those?
already got them. And if you have
Alright.
collected some new emails, you can send it to our nation's Substack inbox.
All right.
yeah.
And then
Can you take a look at what we have, if you would, and then if you have something different, please do send it to us.
all right. And it's where on the IOD website?
Yeah, on our Substack.
inbox.
Two people talking. I didn't get either one.
Sorry.
It's where?
Dr. Jason, send it to Substack inbox.
All right. And then secondly, what was the agenda for this Saturday at the Suffragette Saturday? Do we need anything for that?
What we decided we were going to do is each one of us was going to find a number of influencers, such number as to be determined by you, right? That we all show up tomorrow with a list of influencers and the times of their shows, right? So we can flood their chats, their live chats, and tell them, come to IOD Nations. Come to IOD Nations. We love you. We love what you're doing. We love what you're saying. Come to IOD Nations. Do it with us.
Of course, there would have to be relevant to what we're trying to do, right? We can't just grab anybody, right?
Well, what I've done, and I think the reason why Jackie is here, I suspect, I don't know, unless one of you was highly intentional in targeting her. You might be here. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I didn't say anything. I was waiting.
Okay. She might be here because what I did is I just followed Substacks last night. I went to all the Substacks that I follow. I went into the comments. If there was an author who I liked what they were doing, I liked what they were putting out, I went to see who she was referencing and who she was connecting to. And I just dropped into their comments whenever I could and said, I really like what you're doing. And here, I'll tell you exactly what it was. I just dropped into their comments, and this is what I said. I said, I started with, I said some sentence like, I hear you, or I really love the point you made about this, or I'm also on fire about this. And then I said, if you feel like you need to do something or your head will explode, if you're into it, come check out iodnations.org. We have a plan, we are doing it, and it is happening. And then I put 3 fire signs and I said, fuck those motherfuckers. And that's what I sent that to, like, I don't know, 50 women last night, and men, 50 women and men. And I just wanted to see who would show up. Right. And I'm going to keep on doing that. And then what I did, the other thing is I read their comments. And if a woman said, I'm terrified and I don't know how to look at my children, and she got the most responses or it struck a particular chord in me, I would reach out to her personally and I would say, I am at where you're at. And this is what I'm doing. Come join me.
All right, I got you. And lastly, before I mute myself back, I've got a lot of resources. Does anybody need me to get anything for them? Any information? I've got a ton of files from the Epstein files, some that are not in circulation anywhere. Is there anybody that would like to have that?
Yes. I'm sure there is. I'm
Tell me who
sure
else
there
can send it.
is. And I
I've got
last
about
night,
8,000 pages of stuff.
oh my God, dude, you know what happened last night? While I was tooling around, I reached out to this woman who's working on the Epstein files, right? Because that's kind of my jam. And I think that that's the thing that's going to bring these fuckers down. So I found this woman who is in direct contact with Congresswoman Summer Lee. And
Right.
she is working with Robert Garcia and what's his face with the terrible hair? Jamie. You know who I'm talking. Yes, thank you, Jamie Raskin, the guy with the terrible hair. It's better now though. God, it was so bad. Do you remember when he would grease it back? Anyway, Ellie, I'm so excited to see you. Oh my God, you're my fucking hero. So this is what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to reach out to you guys because we're all in our separate canoes, right? And we're paddling furiously against the stream, feeling hopeless, but feeling like we have to do fucking something because it's all slipping away right in front of our eyes, right? We need to get in the boat together. And what I'm suggesting to you is that IOD Nations is the boat, right? And if we can pull women in like Ellie, right, who has a direct line to Congress, or this woman, Ashley, that I met online, who has a direct line to Congress, this is how we make it happen, you guys. This is what I think. And this is how, and then we pull in a fucking jewel like Julie Andrew. How lucky are we to have her in our mix,
Candace
right?
Owens,
What?
maybe.
Wow. So this, you guys, this can take off right now. You understand what we're saying, right? Do you feel excited?
My philosophy on that is slow is fast. Go slow. Make sure you do it right and don't fuck it up. We might just
Exactly.
be able to. Yeah.
Slow and steady.
So
exactly.
let me. There was a lady here. I think her name was shown as her iPhone, and I think she was trying to speak. Did we lose her, or is she still available?
Let me find her name. Hang on.
So
I just
for those of you
She's
who are
not
just
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she just
And
left.
we stopped Jackie when she was talking, so I think we should start from her.
you guys, I'm so excited that you guys are in contact with Lev Parnas because I think Lev Parnas, Zev Shalev, and Ellie Leonard deserve an American Medal of fucking freedom because you guys are going to save the world and we are here to help you do it. We're going to do it together. And I'm going to pee my pants in a minute. I'm so excited. Joel, say something.
okay. So Jackie, you were talking about this common theme. Okay. The common theme of IOD nations in my book and the meritocracy manifesto and in my mind as I've laid all of this out is really this simple. Okay. If you aren't pro democracy, then you aren't pro democracy. Okay. So the message that is going to be in these emails that are going to go to Victoria's Secret say, we are demanding or asking, or however Rebecca works all this out and everything, that you make a public statement that you stand in support of the survivors and that as a company and all of your companies, okay, you are officially, as a company and a corporation, calling for the release of the files. Now, if they get 10 emails, okay, may not have any effect. I've emailed a lot of people individually on stuff and it doesn't have an effect. But if they get 100 emails, right, they might start to go, wait a minute, what the fuck is happening here? Who are these 100 people who are sending us an email telling us what we have to do? And then we have the next show and we get our article together and we've got all of this organized, and women are seeing, hey, we're sending a message to Victoria's Secret, and it's not a blank message. if we get enough people who send this message and take a stance on it, it's going to reach a point where financially Victoria's Secret and the investors believe they have to start to respond. But what's more, and this is what I try to, when in my shirt it says make democracy offensive, not anonymous. Sun Tzu said the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. And what Sun Tzu really meant was the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without violence. But you can fight with emails. So we talked about if it's 100 or 1,000, but now imagine if 100,000 women and others are united online. And now when you're signing up for this email campaign, you're picking an hour or a half an hour during the day, and Rebecca and Ashfaq have worked out a whole schedule that you can sign up into the portal online for. And so now every fucking hour or half an hour during the 10-hour work hours of the day, we've got all their, or a bunch of their corporate emails, and all of a sudden they're getting pounded by emails to the point they can't even use their email system because all these women are sending emails that are saying, we need you to take a public stance. We need you to stand up and make a press release. We need you to call for this. And not only do they have the issues that affect them from a business, if all of these people aren't going to do business with them, now they can't even run their damn business because their emails, they've got these thousands and hundreds of thousands of emails that are coming in. And the secret is now you've made democracy offensive. Now, instead of us being in an online group where we're trying to figure out how to defend things, right? They're in an online group with these other oligarchs and these other powerful people, and they're saying, what do we do? How do we defend against this? What if they come for my company? Who's next? And Rebecca's over there with the women's group, and now they've got a a hat or a bucket with the names of 20 companies, and they list all 20 companies, and they say, guess what, motherfuckers? You better come out with a public statement, or next week we're going to choose a name and we're coming after you next. And they're going, oh my God, what if they come after us? And now the whole power structures and the whole dynamic shift. And those 20 companies that are in the hat, if you have to resort to drawing one, you do it. But you're going to reach a point where now they're going to come to you and they're going to say, how do we get our name out of the list? How do we prevent you from coming after us? And now we're the ones on offense. They're the ones responding. We're the ones driving the message. We're the ones who are in the news. Instead of reading about Trump and what he's going to do, the news is going to say, guys, there's this group of 100,000 women, and they're targeting these companies associated with Epstein or whatever, and they're crushing these bastards. What's going on? And so that's the evolution where this can go. But we need you to do the anonymous, the Democracy Not Anonymous 3-step program. Go to iodnations.org, click on there and join it, and then find something or share something you want to get involved in. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Thank you very much. So for those of you who are later coming into the group, already at the iodnations.org Substack, we have our letter to Victoria's Secret written. We already have it written. We also have all of the email addresses. It's already prepared. We also have a video that I made with the guys that just sort of talks about like why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so what we're going to do is tomorrow we're going to get together at 2:00. Rakesh just dropped it into the chat for those of you who are in Zoom. Thank you, Rakesh. So we're going to get together tomorrow and we can decide do we have enough people to do this already? Or do we need to get more people? And if we want to get more people, who are the people that we're going to get, right? So we're all going to come prepared with a list of the people that we want to go after. I see you, Jackie. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow and figure out our strategy. And when this is all ready to go to Victoria's Secret, all we have to do is pull the trigger so we can decide collectively how we want to do that. And we can decide, do we want, who's next? Do we want to do that next week or do we want to do that fucking tomorrow? Right? So we get to decide that as a group. And like I said, I don't have to be the leader. Anybody can be the leader. And the last thing I want to say for those of you who are coming on late, one of the reasons that I love the idea of Victoria's Secret is because I can't even tell you how furious I am that I put their products on the most private parts of my body that had already been violated when I was 4 years old by my grandfather. And not only that, but I took my daughters there to get their first bras. I took my daughters there. And guess what Victoria's Secret was? They were trafficking kids and drugging them and raping them and maybe eating them, for sure killing them. That's what they were doing. And all of these motherfuckers knew. If you guys haven't seen the Daily Beast with Joanna, she interviewed Anand Gurdash, what do you know his name? The guy with the hair, right? The ink on Substack. And I love him. And he was talking about this email exchange between Epstein and this German philosopher. And Epstein said, what's your opinion of me? You know, and instead of telling him what his opinion was of Epstein, he explained to him what the public perception of him was. And he said, well, if I look you up on Wikipedia, it says that you're a sex offender. And everybody knows that about you, but we don't really look at you as a pedophile. We look at you as and I can't remember what the term is, but it's a term of art, right? A defensive term of art for pedophiles who like older girls, right? Versus little girls. And he said, I think you're one of those, you know, and we all just know about that and have to deal with that part of your life. We all just know. And it is very interesting to me as a philosopher to watch men compartmentalize that when they deal with you, depending on their power relationship, power dynamic with you. It's a really fascinating interview, you guys. And it shows that all these guys knew. There's no way that they didn't. It was common knowledge. And the other thing that I wanted to say about that is that one of the comments that the guys made to Jeffrey was, I noticed that you are attracted to young women and older women as well, but you don't seem to like women very much. And Anand said he published that article and he got more responses to that line than he has ever received because all of the women wrote him and said, yeah, welcome to my life. Yeah, I get that from my dad. Yeah, I get that from my husband. Yeah, I get that from my kids, my sons, right? And it made him heartbroken. And I really like it because I think it helps you guys understand this emotional earthquake that we women are going through. You know, so many of us have our own stories, right? And so we've had to react defensively our whole lives and made our lives so small so that we could stay safe. And we knew that it sucked, right? We knew that we had to be small at work, that we couldn't be too big at work, that we couldn't shine at work because what if we offended some man who got hired at the same time, right? We've all had those experiences. And now we find out as our democracy falls apart that it was all on purpose and they were stealing from us and eating us this whole time. Like, what the hell? So that's the trauma we're going through. It's like we knew it was bad, but it's so much worse. Thank you, Joel.
Before Jackie, I want to say something. I want to address something from a legal standpoint. Okay, we are not saying, and Rebecca, I need to ask you to be careful with this. We can't say that we know what Victoria's Secret was doing. What we can say, or we need to find a way that says there seem to be links, or a lot of people consider that Victoria's Secret and the ownership are directly correlated to this. or there are something along those lines. So we just have to be really clear. I don't want you personally to be liable, and I
Right.
don't want us to be liable. So we have to be
Okay.
really careful about how we express that.
I have a quick question and then I'm going to turn it over to Jackie.
Okay.
I know that some of the things that I've said are proven in the documents because I follow Lev and Ellie. So do I have to be careful because it hasn't been proven in court? Because I know that the things that I say have documentation.
I'll say this. I know that on Midas, I've seen a change in the way that they speak. And I forget which one of the brothers it is who's the lead. But if you watch them now, he is very, very
Sorry, Joel,
careful
you're
to
talking
set
about Ben. Ben on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Ben. Okay.
He's the
And he will
lawyer. He's
always,
saying under protected speech, the First Amendment. He says that all the time now. That's what you're
Yeah.
talking
and he
about.
always says, I'm telling you what my opinion is.
Opinion is
This
Yeah.
is my
to the First
personal
Amendment.
opinion. And so he's keeping it in that realm so that the Midas group and himself cannot be sued or cannot be attacked legally. And it's very, very important that we maintain that, because I don't have the resources that Midas has. Okay.
Sure.
And 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 so we just need to be cognizant of this and be careful. So thank you,
So
Gwen.
let me just say,
And
on that
yep.
note, let me stipulate that that was First Amendment protected speech. It was only my opinion, and obviously no charges have been proven, and these guys are all innocent until then. Thank you, Jackie.
Yes.
Okay. So systems. A system that could really work for this group would be to have talking points containing phrases people can get very familiar with so they roll off your tongue when you're in the middle of giving your opinion about something so that you can stay out of legal hot water. And Joel, you must be an attorney, are you?
No.
No. Okay,
No,
so the
not at
minute we
all.
get an attorney in here, one of their roles might be to help draft what those phrases are. When you're learning a new language, which the law is, and political activism is a language as well. When you're learning a new language, you want to learn. I have taught languages. When you're learning a new language, you want to learn certain phrases so that they are kind of part of your automatic repertoire. You're part of your automatic
Yep.
speaking behavior, and that will help keep you out of trouble.
Great advice.
I want to add, thank you. I want to add a couple of things to what Rebecca said. Not only is Victoria's Secret possibly, allegedly, responsible for shaping women and girls' views of themselves, their bodies, and being objects for men, but there is documentation around the owners. I forget who owned it. Limited to, and these big major fashion brands that were specifically targeting making preteen and young teen girls sexual objects while dancing that line between innocence and attraction, and shaping how fashion shapes the girls' view of themselves.
Identity. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is that this stuff is everywhere embedded in our culture. And part of it is becoming conscious of what the culture is and how it's being used to manipulate and control and promulgate the kind of culture that benefits certain groups and is at the detriment of others. And so one of the things that we can do is pay attention when you find that someone's got a message. There's an agenda behind almost any commercial enterprise. And some of that agenda isn't just to make money. Some of that agenda is to create a different marketplace, in this case of girls and their bodies to be available for powerful men. and noticing what that is. And even if you are just looking at yourself and how you experienced, and I'm talking to the women here, but this can apply to men and you who are here in your own situations too. How were you shaped by what was going on outside of yourself, but influenced you? My daughter and I've been. My daughter's 34. She might be on the Zoom tomorrow. She's here in the background, but I have my headset on because the speaker sucks. I can't really hear very well out of it, so I have to wear my headset. But in any case, we've been talking a lot about feminism, and we've been talking a lot about patriarchy. We've been talking a lot about cultural influences, about how we get shaped into certain ways of being and accepting that that's just the way it is. And it happens on such a subconscious level that most people are not even aware of how their identity is tied up in the the values that have been kind of inherited, forced on us. And so my challenge to you all is to look at yourself. Where you feel uncomfortable? Where do you feel conflicted? Because those are clues as to where your sovereignty has been violated. Your inner being doesn't like it. And yet we've been trained, especially women, to go along with what we've been handed to stay safe. It's not a failing. It's that's what we've had to do to fit in and survive. Because if we don't fit in, then shunning, being ostracized, being abandoned, it's one of the deepest human fears that we have. And that's been used against us. So be gentle with the people who are out there in MAGA land. They are just as much a victim of this as we are, or as we feel. Only they're coming at it from a different angle. That's all. They're seeing the same thing, but from the other side of the mountain. So part of it is healing the trauma that has happened culturally to nearly everybody. In fact, I honestly don't know anyone who hasn't been affected, at least to some degree. So just be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, and then extend the same kindness to others, because that kindness is what ultimately breaks down the barrier faster than anything, faster than just being pissed off. Okay.
Absolutely.
So-
And what, Joel, I need to go to AC, and then I think we should wrap it up because we've been going for a long time. So I'm going to keep it really brief. But I just wanted to say I was a women's studies major, and so it's so funny how we're all connecting in all these different ways. And one of the things that has been so amazing about working with this group here is that Joel and I have been experiencing exactly that kind of healing that you're talking about, because we've been getting to know each other, right? And I'm telling him my story, and he's realized what I've gone through and what life has been like for me as a woman. Like he's been going, oh my God, I had no idea. And so as we've been doing this process of democratically pursuing democracy and freedom, we are already engaged in the process of healing. And that is what makes me so excited, because I believe that we have to come at this from a place of love. My Alcoholics Anonymous tradition tells me that love and tolerance is my code. And after I came out of the first Trump administration, I realized I couldn't just love and tolerate the people I agreed with. that was not the commandment, and that if I am actively hating those fuckers, I'm contributing to the problem, right? And so I had to lead with love. I had to lead with love, and I'm doing that with you now. I hope you guys feel it. When I reached out to you, exactly. And when I reached out to you in your text messages, I was feeling the love that I have for you as I was reaching out to you, and I was connecting with your pain and that sense of dislocation that we all feel. And I tried to offer hope. And that's what we can do together. And that's what is so exciting about what Joel has to offer. AC, would you please share?
Yeah, so I just put it out in the chat. So I was talking to some other women on this, and the fact that Les Wexner owns Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works, and that he's in the files quite a lot. And there's a lot of allegations of what he did. And after all those allegations, I believe the women, and I don't believe him. And so what you're looking to do is contact the Victoria's Secret. And I was like, well, we could, I don't know, put out mass emails and boycott Bath Body Works and Victoria's Secret. And then someone brought up about justice and about how the allegations were that they had cameras and that they were using that to watch these little girls, along with, there's other allegations of a lot of these, one of the massive companies that worked with children, taking pictures of them for their schools, that they had connections to Epstein, and it was basically using it as a catalog. Anywho, and then we went into the whole thing, Jackie was going into capitalism and how there's all these, and when you look at that, Rothschilds are all over the Epstein files. JP Morgan is in the files. Deutsche Bank and other banks were allegedly, laundering the money, and they're paying off people in the lawsuits, but they're not going to prison, which they need to go to prison. Anyways, but my thought process is, well, there's two. One, we could boycott, right? Have mass emails boycotting people so that they don't use Victoria's Secret, they don't use Bath and Body Works, and they don't use Justice, and put some of the information of the allegations in the files in there. The other thing is why don't we do mass filings to all these different countries to ask them, since all these different people are in the files, and this is a lot of capitalism, and there's the allegations of money laundering and all that. Why don't we ask these different countries, can you pull all your retirement funds from Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, Rothschilds, Vanguard, State Street, and BlackRock? If at mass levels retirement funds, they pull that out, I wonder if we don't, in a nonviolent way, make a difference. Anywho,
Exactly, AC. Exactly. And so we're going to meet tomorrow at 2:00 Eastern, which for those of you who struggle with math is 11:00 Pacific. Guinevere, you're going to have to figure it out yourself. You're in Australia. I have no clue. That's what time we're going to meet. And that's what we're going to figure out. We're going to figure out, how do we want to do this? What number do we feel is a tipping point that we're ready to go forward, right? And start targeting them, that we have the sufficient mass, the tonnage of emails to be impactful, right? And then we say, all right, we already have the Victoria's Secret. It's in the chamber, so to speak, right? The gun's loaded. So we can shoot that whenever we're ready to have the numbers. And then we go, okay, now we're going to write the banks. Who is going to make that video? Who is going to write that email? Okay, great. Who is going to get the emails? And the guys will do that. Don't worry, or unless that's your jam, and then go for it. Go find the emails. You can do that. And then we figure out who's going to do what, right? And then we decide, okay, this is what we're going to do. We all have this assignment. We're holding each other accountable. This is when we're meeting next to report on our progress. Right? Does that make sense?
So let me cut in.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to cut in here because we are evolving and we're starting to grow, and we're a democracy, right? So what we're asking people to do is unite online democratically. And what Ashfaq has created, and I see his hands up, so we're going to talk to him next. We have this portal now, the one we're asking you to go register with, okay? And the way that Taiwan and Barcelona are doing this online integration of the democracy with the government, and in essence, you guys, whatever group it is, and whatever we are as a whole, we are forming an online democracy. So that is the core of what we are. Everything about, I spoke to Jackie earlier. The core message, the core thread that holds all of this together is that we're pro-democracy, because that's what is the common thread that brings people together. And so my point to AC and to you, Rebecca, would be this: we've got to start moving as this is going to grow. And the way it's going to grow is we've created this portal, and you'll be able to go in and submit your idea to the group. And what it would force AC to do is start with some priorities, right? We have to start with something that's manageable and get it working. So you pick a couple of the things that you want to put forth that you would like, whether it's the women's group or it's the overall group or whoever it is, to consider. And Rebecca's there and she's going to be coordinating these different email campaigns and who's going to help write them. And Dr. Jesnel, this is this kind of volunteerism. This is a man who stepped up and he said, look, I'm a fixer. I solve problems. And I asked him, can you, if I want email addresses from someone, he goes, oh yeah, no problem. I can get them for you. So we come up with someone that we want to target with emails and we say, hey, Dr. Jesnel, can you get those email addresses? And so far, his help for the women who are here and everybody who's here, he gets the email addresses. And then the group says, you know, these are the email campaigns that we want to get. And maybe AC takes one that's really close to her heart, or Karma does, or whoever, and they create the email template, right? And we look at it because it's going to have IOD nations on it, okay? And we make sure that it's in line with what IOD nations wants. We have to protect the brand. We've got to be protected legally, right? But we want to promote IOD nations because ultimately the more people we get united online democratically, the stronger and more effective and powerful and influential we become. So we have this process beginning, and I know we're not quite there yet, but keep in mind that that's the evolution of this, and that's where it's going to need to go, so that it's a democratic process. It's manageable. Rebecca and Draco can help hold these email campaigns together and keep them functional and make them so if you want to participate, you can just come in and copy and paste, and you can add your own little edits to it, and boom, it's quick and it's easy. And even if you're, you know, full-time job and a mom, you know, we're trying to make it where if you can't come to the Saturday thing, still in 10 minutes, you can click on the IOD Nations, you can look at it and go, oh shit, I want to be a part of this email campaign. Boom, I copied and pasted the email addresses. Boom, I copied the template. Boom, oh, they're trying to get everybody to send it on Monday at 10 o'clock or between 10 and 11. Well, I'll just schedule that in my email and it goes out. And that's the structure and the where we're trying to move forward, I guess is what I want to say. Go ahead, Ashfaq.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Jackie, posted a message here about Maslow's hierarchy needs to be updated.
No way.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
Why don't I just explain?
Wait, Jackie,
Viktor
I apologize. Go ahead.
Viktor Frankl and later thinkers added to Maslow's hierarchy of needs the layer of contribution, giving back, or what many call self-transcendence. And it's actually the higher need above self-actualization. So when we get to self-transcendence, we actually enter the realm of the ecstasy of transformation, which some have called the highest pleasure that we can have, because you're not transforming just yourself, you're helping to transform the world and make it a better place. So so I would mention that on the About page, simply because not everybody is thinking beyond the self and self-actualization, when really what the movement is about self-transcendence and being in relation with all that is around us, everyone else and the planet, the universe.
So Jackie, Draco, are you ready? You know what I'm going to ask for, right? So Jackie, this is my modified Maslow's pyramid, and I'll tell you why. If you can see that. So if you look at the pyramid, I put freedom, mobility, and democratic rights down as foundational below physiological needs of breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep. And there's a reason for that. In my meritocracy manifesto, I did a Q&A with AI. And one of the questions that I asked AI is, I said, can you give me a comparison if I'm a human being and I'm living in a more authoritarian country or society, compare my ability to get both volume and quality of air, food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep. And then I said, compare that to a person who lives in a free and democratic society. What's the quality and the quantity of air, food, water, shelter, sleep that they can get? And what I realized is those of us who are fortunate enough to live in a free and democratic society, we have twice the access to air, food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep that people who live in authoritarian regimes. And I made the conclusion, and I provide this as more of a theory than a theorem, but I actually had a PhD in psychology who said she had never thought of it this way. And I said, if freedom, mobility, and democracy double the amount of people who live and their quality of life because of the air, food, water, shelter, and clothing and sleep that they get, doesn't that make it foundational to Maslow's pyramid? And you could debate whether it should be below it or whatever, but the bottom line is that it has a very, very direct effect, and that air, food, water, shelter, and clothing directly affects everything above it. You know, it's like whether your kid goes to school, if they have a meal in their stomach when they're in class, their performance in school is like double what it is the kids who don't have any food. And so again, this is and I wanted to add this to what you were talking about, the kindness and the love and all of this that brings you together. Look, I believe in all of that, okay? And I'm going to give you a but, okay? These powerful entities are not going to give up their power and influence just because we're kind and nice, okay? There's a great quote about that I don't remember. And so you have to be offensive and not anonymous. And so you can do that with love, right? You can say to Victoria's Secret, if you guys want to turn around what you're doing and your company has changed or your board of directors wants to choose a new direction, we're here to talk to you about that and whatever. But listen, you bastards, if you're not going to work with us, if you're not pro freedom and democracy, then you aren't pro freedom, democracy, and women. And we're coming after you. And we're not just going to do it with love and kindness. And we're going to do it assertively. And we're going to be aggressive. And we are going to force you to capitulate. And so there's another part that you haven't seen, and I'm going to wind this down, Janet, because it has been a while. So let me ask you a question. Do you access the internet, Janet?
You're asking Janet.
Janet or Jackie?
Jackie.
Janet.
Jackie, I'm
Jackie.
sorry, Jackie. Do you access the internet?
I do, and
Yeah.
and there's only one thing that I would say about all of that, too, actually. But the pyramid where you've got the base is the inserting the individual in society. Maslow's hierarchy of needs was dealing with the individual, and so there's a conflation here between the individual and the social, which is why the base, it should be the environment that all this happens in, right? And the individual is still individually having those needs, and the individual still has the need from the bottom to the top, including the extra layer now that I'm talking about contribution and giving back or self-transcendence. But you're absolutely right. When you embed it in culture, when you embed it in society, the democracy does have a prospering effect on the entire hierarchy of needs. And without it, you're impoverished. Okay. So I do 100% agree with that. But I think we have to look at what level are you talking about? And then you can take the base that you have there now of democracy and say, well, if you fit this into the fractal that is society and culture, you have to have that environment of democracy in order to thrive. And I will also say that it is not necessary to be offensive to be strongly assertive.
I think
Well,
you mean
see,
Can't be
tactical
strongly
offensive.
offensive.
assertive and get where you need to go.
No, I mean both, right? So I mean offensive is tactically, right? You always, I believe in yin yang. So offense, defense, love, hate, black, white, da 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 da. But my point is, I'm a bit more aggressive as a personality, okay? And so in this democracy, there needs to, and I would look to say AC and Karma, right? They're they are young and they are passionate as hell, and they want to make something happen, man. They're like, God damn it, we've got to fight back and all of this. And so we it's the yin yang of it, okay? It's the balance. And both of those qualities are going to be required. And you and Rebecca and Draco and Ashfaq and Rakesh, you might gravitate a bit more towards the love and the comfort and the collaboration and all those aspects. But from a nature standpoint, and I'm certainly not trying to speak for Karma and AC, but I've gotten an impression from them, and I know other people who are more like me. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm done. I want to go fuck with you a little bit. Okay. I want to make you uncomfortable. And um I might some of what I might choose to do might be offensive. And there's a place in this democracy for that, right? If somebody sees this campaign that's a little bit more aggressive than other people think, but for us as IOD nations, we agree that it falls under this umbrella, that's their choice. This is their democracy too. And I don't want them. I want people to know that we believe in offense and defense. And when I say offensive, I very specifically mean it as a double entendre, right? It is offensive as in going forward and attacking. But I do this thing where I make, some slightly offensive jokes that some people won't like. But if it's kind of that, any publicity is good publicity. My whole existence right now, to a certain extent, is about getting people united online democratically. And if I have to offend some people and it ultimately helps reach that goal, I don't just think I'm okay with that. I think I'm compelled to do that. And so, and I realize you or Rebecca or Ashfaq might or Draco might disagree, but we can work that out. Go ahead, Ashfaq.
Yeah, so it's been quite a long show. So actually,
Yes.
I
Yep.
want Jackie's full attention because we have built a platform. You can call it a platform or app where ordinary citizens from around the world can come in and take actions. So in Taiwan, they did it for Taiwanese people. In Barcelona, they did it for themselves. But in IOD nations, we did not have this barrier of locality. It's a global thing. So I'm going to share my screen with you and show you our app a little bit. So this is a beta app. We are still learning, trying to develop it, make it work. We would be needing some inputs from you guys. All right, so let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
All right.
No.
Okay. So what about now, Rebecca?
No.
Okay.
Karma, can you see it? Can you see the screen?
Rebecca,
Karma?
you need to change. Rebecca,
I can
change
see
your
it.
view. You're on mobile.
Oh, thank you. I got it.
Switch over a screen and you'll get it.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay, so this is our website. It's just basic description of what's going on, what we're trying to build. If you click on the join movement, this is a simplest way you can join in with just one click. You can sign in and be a part, like tell us what you care about. Okay, so you have the Epstein Survivors campaign, other email campaigns, volunteers, ideas, social media, Substack updates. You can pick any of those, okay, or just don't pick any of. Actually, we are going to update it. So Rebecca wanted us to have a box where people can actually write something. So we will definitely add that. If you want to add something, you can let us know and we will work on it. So this is just this is one of the ways to connect with us. Okay, now I'm going to show you another thing, which is the civic app that I was talking about. So this is about structure. Usually governments follow a one-way communication system where they send out messages or their news to us, and we, the ordinary people, don't have a voice to share with. And that's why this app exists. So for now we have a few actions, like this one is a vote. We need like 25,000 people. Only 7 people voted. It's about the release of Epstein file, and only one person can vote. We are thinking about if we can allow people to edit. So right now, if you vote once, it's locked. So we want to enable people to change their mind? That's a discussion for another day. I'm just going to move back to, and then we have another action, a petition. Sign the petition, ban stock trading for Congress. So you have the context, some sources to learn more about it, and you need to decide whether you want to sign the petition or not. So if you sign it, you'll see that like people from 3 countries signed this petition. Total 8 participants, and then we have like 8 total. I mean, this is just graph. We are still building. We can see that 4 people from United States, 1 people from Canada, 1 from UK voted on this issue. And then we have a social media platform, but I'll come back to that later. So this is all the actions. You can stop, Virginia's law, come here, start, do the email campaign. You can just hit this button. And if you are on your phone, it'll pop up with everything written, and you just need to hit the send button. That's how simple it is, okay? So now let me get back to show you where you can submit your idea, okay? So this is one that I posted to test things out. You can click on see all, or just hit the idea button from here. You have actions, ideas, and something called profile, but it's hidden because of this chat. So let me close it out. All right. So now Joel gave me some input, and last night we updated it. So when you come to submit, we have 2 sections. One is, do you want to address a social issue or an action? You want to do a march or a petition? You click on this tab. You write your title, you write your description, you tell us whether this is just an idea or you have done some work, it's in progress, or it's a well-established idea. And you also need to refer 5 of your friends so that we know you are really dedicated and you want to like share your idea to all the people you know. So at least bring 5 people you know. And then we also included AI to moderate the ideas that we receive, and it filters out who come here with bad faith or trying to spam us, AI will just disregard, reject those ideas, and it will also, the good ideas will bring the good ideas up. So we don't need to actually put much attention here, but we do need somebody to look at the overall, like how it's going and stuff. So that's it. That's one of the ideas as I shared. You can upvote it. I think we should also include a downvote option so that you can change your opinion anytime you want. And then you have your profile. You can see how many actions you have taken, how many ideas you have shared, and how many times you have shared this app with your friends and family. And then we build something for people who don't want to use Facebook. Okay, we have something that is called IOD Nations Social. Maybe we need to shorten the name a little bit to make it sound good. But you can come in here. You can write a Facebook a status, upload your photo, slideshow, quotation, GIF, video, whatever. I mean, audio. You can do lots of stuff. Choose your privacy. You can see a few people are joining, posting a few things. So this is one of the things you can consider joining in. Okay, so somebody from Calgary joined in here, and I'm loving it. So it's slowly going out, and you can see here the text is not visible. That's my bad. Actually, I am alone. I have to do all of it alone. I don't have anybody to help me out. So I'll fix it, but we need your help. We need your support to build this new system that is powered by the people. I mean, it's created, built by the people for the people. Okay. So Jackie, you were talking about the systems and stuff. That is why I wanted to show you that we are not just discussing, we are also building stuff. We need your input to make it democratic. This platforms doesn't have any value. Okay, Facebook doesn't have any value if you stop using it. Okay, if nobody goes into Facebook for one day, it'll crash. Like, they won't know what to do because so many people are moving to another platform. So we are the power. That's what Joel is trying to say with all his books and stuff. If we can understand, like as an individual, as an united group of people, we can accomplish a lot of stuff that we are not realizing right now. So that's my presentation. I'm going to stop it right here, right there. So what do you think about it, Jackie?
Fantastic. I'm really pleased that you're doing that. Are you the developer for the
Yes, I am the developer.
Online presence?
Yeah.
Well, you're doing a wonderful job. And
Thank you so much.
speaking as a systems person, I'm not a computer scientist,
Not me,
but I'm
me.
a systems person.
I'm just an ordinary guy. I feel this like strong urge or willingness to do something good, and I've been doing it alone. I cannot brainstorm with somebody. I mean, it'd be really nice if I could brainstorm with somebody to build actually something that
Can I
creates
just
value.
interrupt really quickly? You just said you were an ordinary guy. I'd put EX before the ordinary so that you're extraordinary, actually, with what you've
Jill,
been
let me
doing.
tell you something.
Yeah.
He's worked with me for 10 years, and that is absolutely impossible for any ordinary person to do and retain their sanity.
He is
Okay.
extraordinary.
Well, I found myself saying maybe I do have good patience. That's all. So let's move from this meeting and
Okay, I'm gonna button this up. So I'm gonna do it this way because there's one thing I want to close out with Jackie. So I asked Jackie, you guys will know this, and I just left a note. Draco, can you share the link to my amazing artistic video where I draw planet Earth, so Jackie can see that and get the visual to what I'm about to say. So, Jackie, I asked you a question earlier. I said, do you access the internet? And if you watch the video that we're going to give, I'm going to contend to you kind of like, is the glass half full or half empty? You do not access the internet. And so the point, we were trying to get a visual ready for today. You'll see it in that video. I did it in this really horrific drawing. But basically, what I say is think of planet Earth as a globe, and then think of the way we've evolved it now is it has two atmospheres around it. Okay. And those two atmospheres, they're not like the rings of Saturn, like they're like a complete atmosphere, and it's the virtual world, and they surround our planet. Now, the outer atmosphere, the outer virtual world, is where all these platforms reside. That's the Facebook, the Twitter, the Amazon, whatever, whatever these dirty bastards are doing with their propaganda and the entities that they're creating, and the big corporations and the Black Rocks and those bastards are in the outer atmosphere, and they're dominating the internet right now. Okay. The decline in freedom and democracy in the world directly correlates to the advent of the internet. They're completely inverse of each other. They match each other. But this inner environment that is around the planet, that's us. But we're like this commodity. They've got us trapped between the governments and the corrupt systems on the planet that don't work. And then they've got this outer virtual world that they're starting to control that doesn't work. But none of them can function without us. They need our money. They need us to buy their products. They need to get their propaganda to us and everything. But the thing is, we are the internet. That part of the environment, that's just us humans. So what I say, and this plays, this is a perfect metaphor for what you said about offensive. In that video I look at the screen and I say, we do not access the internet. We are the internet. And without us, they ain't shit. Okay. They cannot function. Those platforms are almost worthless if they aren't milking us and commoditizing us, which isn't a word, right? But we're allowing them. We can simply put up filters, and we'll have a visual for that. And we can say, if your AI isn't demonstrably pro-democracy, it doesn't get through our filters, okay, without being filtered. If your corporation isn't pro-democracy, right, you don't get direct access to us. You have to go through filters because we're the fucking internet. Without us, you ain't shit. Go ahead. We'll end on Jackie's comment.
I just want to say that this is where we really have to look at lip service, what people say, and what their behavior is. Because the corporate messaging is so honed by neuroscience today that what they say, because it jives with what we want to hear and how we hope the world works and what we see ourselves as our individual identities and our community identities, our tribal identities, that fits into our need to belong. It fits with our emotions. I love your puppy. I had to put my beloved 15-year-old to sleep. That's Bucky. Well,
that's Bucky Fuller.
Give him an extra petting for me, please. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and Karma was saying he probably needs some food and water.
Go feed your dog, Joel.
Yeah.
Bucky is very well taken care of. Go ahead.
All right,
let's wind this down.
This point is really important though, because when you're dealing with people who are out of integrity, whether they're narcissists or addicts or whatever their issue is, when people are out of integrity, they will say one thing and do another. And we are trained from a young age to listen to what people say and then be shocked when they do something different. and we don't know how to respond. And that sends us into fight or flight, which in my book, I explain how that leads to greater suggestibility. It makes us more vulnerable to control and manipulation. And it's because of how our brains and our physiology work, and then what the mind does with that sequence of events when we go into fight or flight or freeze or the other three survival mechanisms. But my point is that notice the difference between what people say and what they do, whether it's a corporation and what their messaging is and what their behavior is under the table where people can't see it because we don't have access to their financial records, or we don't have access to, what's going on behind closed doors, or the complete lack of transparency in the government, for example. What do people say, and then what do they do? Because you have to go by what they do, not what they say. So that's so important.
I call it intent and action. Define what you say your intent is, and then show me what you're doing with action. My intent, this intent here for IOD Nations, is to unite the pro-democracy citizens of the world online democratically. And our actions are showing that we're doing that. We're not charging people to comment. We welcome people in here. The book is free. The manifesto is free. Do I need the money? Yeah, but the intent is fulfilled with action, and that action comes from Draco and Rakesh and Jill. You're going to be on in just a second because you're going to close this show out, and um and Ashfaq and these guys who are working with me and have been to make this happen. And it's why I've made the comment that I said, and I'm going to be so protective of the IOD brand, is you have to know when you deal with us at IOD what our intent is, and our actions prove it. And we're going to fight like hell to maintain that integrity. And when you come here, we're going to give you a way that you can participate and you can work with other like-minded people, and we can make things better. And that's just who we are and what we're going to do.
Awesome. Thank you, Joel.
So
all right,
Jill
guys.
is going to close out. Give her a closeout, would you, when you're ready, Rebecca?
Absolutely. Jill, can you unmute yourself and send us one thing, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2:00 Eastern.
Send you one
Jill.
thing. What?
Yes.
Jill, give us a brief breakdown and provide us with a link to your
the petition.
Your passion project, your petition. Go for it.
Yeah, so
It's
at the
all on you.
moment, yeah, at the moment, still on, I've started a petition which the guys have all signed, but it's sort of stagnated a bit, so needs really pushing. King and Queen are coming on the 27th of April to the USA to visit. It's a diplomatic visit. How you can have a diplomacy meeting with an absolute tyrant is beyond me. They won't be meeting with survivors, but they will be meeting with him in private meetings behind closed doors, whilst his brother is refusing to stand before Congress, even though it's been continually requested. And our Prime Minister has publicly said that he should go and testify, but he still will not. Our Met Police, our Chief of Met Police, we've got 11 different police forces looking and investigating Andrew. Our Chief Met Police Officer came to the USA not last week, the week before, to personally request the unredacted files because a formal request had been ignored. He's come away. We don't know what he's come away with. Now, normally here the police would say we're working with the US authorities or such like. We've not heard anything. So my guess is he hasn't, the visit has been fruitless. So we're not getting it. I looked up earlier, so there are now 7 other countries trying to get unredacted files. Latvia, Poland, Norway, UK, France, who have done I think now 2 raids on Elon Musk's properties over there. But, you know, it's not just, I mean, a state visit is a privilege. And the one thing that the tyrant revels in is that ceremonious prestige that he will, you know, have on a world stage, and the message that that will send to survivors. And people keep thinking that because the king is addressing Congress, there will be opportunity to ask him things. There won't be. I can absolutely 100%. And part of me is a little bit, my gut is rolling. I think Melania came out yesterday for a number of reasons. I think one of them is because she's mentioned Congress and the king is going to address Congress. And it's effectively saying, oh, you know, well, there is something now happening with Congress, etc. So it just makes it a nice, smooth pathway. And it's power protecting power. And it can't go, it's just so wrong. And these things are sort of happening underneath, that in all the world chaos are being slipped by, but actually the magnitude of what that visit signifies, when the king and queen actually are potential witnesses where Andrew is concerned, because he had parties at Buckingham Palace, and potentially they're looking at Balmoral Castle as well up in Scotland. So, and they can't find flight logs for Balmoral, for private jets. Normally they're kept for way over 6 years, but suddenly this time they haven't been. So,
So Jill, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
yeah, no,
can
I need it going.
can we get, do you have a link to your
Yeah.
petition?
Yeah.
Can you put it in the comments so people can go there and sign it? Or did you already?
No,
I sent it to a couple of people, but I can drop it in. So I'm only in on this panel group. Is that everybody or?
Yes.
You can put it on Zoom, and I will share my screen and also drop that link on our Substack chat so that everybody can have it. We'll also put it, when we like this will be a recorded, there will be a recorded copy, and we will write some articles, so we will definitely
Yeah,
put the link in
thanks
there
for.
as well.
I was
I
going to
actually
ask
did
you
on my
that.
last article, so I'll do it again. Don't worry about it. All right, so got the
I
link.
just
Okay,
sent
so
it. Have you got it?
there's the link. So I'm gonna cut this off, but I'm gonna say to everybody who's here, Rebecca, are you gonna join me and go send a message in Heather Cox Richardson's live feed?
Well, see, this is what we're just discussing. I'm glad you brought that up. So we need to decide. We can take a vote.
Yeah.
However you guys want to do it. We also want to do a post-mortem to discuss how the meeting went and if our changes were effective or if we need to make further changes, etc. So we wanted to do a post-mortem. Here's the question. Do you guys want to stay here for post-mortem, or should we all leave as a group and go over to Heather Cox Richardson? Right? And
Actually,
then
we all need to hang up from here to end the live show, and then if we want to do a post-mortem or whatever, we can actually do a messenger call. And I mean, like we will lose Karma, Dr. Jesnil, Jill, Trajectory, and Jackie, Buena, everybody.
Wait.
So
Ashfaq, let's change that. Instead of saying we will lose them, let's say, is there a way that we can retain them if they want to come join us? So what I would say is, can we create a new Zoom link before we close this one out? Can we put it into the feed, and anybody who wants to join us, we will have a really brief post-mortem, and we will create a consistent or personal message that we want to share with Heather Cox Richardson, and we will go into this next Zoom link, and we will be crisp and concise
Okay, the host muted everybody. So Heather Cox start shows in 3 minutes. Let's end this show. Joel, you can unmute and finish this show.
Okay, so is somebody are you or Draco creating a Zoom link where we can tell people they can go to join us to reach out to Heather Cox Richardson?
Yeah. So Draco, are we working on it?
Okay, I want to also share our IOD Women's Nation Zoom group where every woman can join and
Okay.
work
Can
in.
we do a call like this in there?
Yeah, we all
Alright,
can do that.
drop the link in the Zoom chat and also in the Substack chat so that everybody can join.
Okay, all right.
So very specifically, what do people need to do to join us in this next chat? We're going to have a Zoom link. Is that correct?
Yes, we will have a Zoom link. We will be dropping here in the Zoom chat. We will also drop it in the Substack chat. So anybody wants to join in from Substack, they can do it.
Okay.
So yeah, are we good with Jill?
Are we doing it immediately, Ashvat?
No, I think we
need to give it 15 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes break because we've been sitting here for quite long. We need to stretch out and use the washroom and stuff, you know. Let's take a short break. Are you joining Zoom or okay? So Jackie, actually, we will be doing a short Zoom meeting, but we will try to, strategize like what we are going to do on the Heather Cox Richards sorry about it that show, and we need to like figure out what we are going to do in there, or just going to listen to it, or are we going to convey any message in there. So
All right, do it quickly because her shows aren't that long, okay?
Yeah. So let's I think let's close it up, wrap it up. What do you think, Joel?
Yeah, just everybody can go to the IOD Women Nation Work Group link. If you click on that, we'll be there in about 10 minutes or so, and we're going to work through this quickly so we can get in there. Doing the thing with Heather Cox Richardson, especially from a time frame standpoint, is more important than our after call meeting. I think if we're going there, we should get something done and make sure we get it done in a timely way, and then we can do the other stuff afterwards. That's my impression.
I agree.
We're going to be there.
I second that. I second that.
Okay. I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
We
so love you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's nice really meeting Jackie and Gwen and all the other people who joined. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so glad to meet you, Jackie. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you all too.
Bye, Doctor.
Bye, Jill.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Gwyneth.